Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Let us know in the chat if the sound is good, if everything's coming through good. Got Eric and Adam here. Of course, Adam from Adam Delay on YouTube, Eric from East Texas Homestead. And we're here for a little Q&A live stream. And we're also streaming on on Adam's channel. So if you're on that channel, welcome from his channel as well. We're trying to something new. Gonna do the ultra low latency stream and try to stream to 2 different channels and see how this works out. But I'd like to say, hey, welcome to the guys, and how are you doing? Eric, Adam.
Yeah, you got to pick one. Man,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
doing well. I'm doing well. I've been sick for like 2.5 months, so I'm just finally just feel like I'm getting over it. So this is great. Yeah. Thanks for having us on, Rodney.
Adam.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Doing well, keeping busy, that's for sure. It seems like there's never an end to the projects in sight, whether that's solar projects, home projects, or the honeydew projects.
Oh yeah, indeed. Let's go ahead and say hello to everybody in the stream and let us know if you got any problems. All right, so of course we got Russell. Hey, welcome to the stream. Got now I don't want to mess your name up. Blessing Jacob. Hey, I'm probably messing your name up. If I am sorry. Let's see. Got Todd. Got Bebop. Got Snow. What does that say? Snowflit. Okay, I'm probably messing that up. It's really small on my screen up here, and of course I have glasses already. So, Subby Sleeper, Jetfire, John, Incoming, 007, Mike. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. So looks like we already got about 23 people on here already, and we just got started. And remember, if you got a question, just put Q in front of the question in the chat, or of course you can just use a question mark. We'll try to find your question and go answer it. That's what this Q&A is all about. It's trying to help out the community so you can get better with your solar systems and try to become, more self-sufficient and off-grid. And what are I forgot our tagline already. What does it say? Where DIY solar enthusiasts connect and learn. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write that down so I can remember it for now. And we also got.
Can't remember it.
Yep, we got Retro Z Machine, Randall, Donald, and Techno Rancher. Hey, welcome to the stream. I guess we'll go ahead and jump right into some of the questions. I'm gonna have to scroll back up to the top and see what we got here. Let's see. Looks like we got one question about the midnight inverter. And let's see here. Looks like he's wanting something that uses the smart ports and it has AC coupling. So, Adam, can you talk about that with the midnight solar? If that you think that would be a good option, you've been testing them out. You got a couple of them now, so.
Say I can't see those questions unless they're on yours.
Let me add it. Let's see. It's like he's got a bunch of different comments, so I'll try to. Can you see it on there now? When I just added it to the stream.
Do AC bypass. Has no smart port. I thought the 18K had a smart port on it. Can't you use the generator as a smart port?
You can. It was like a feature they added on after. Yeah.
Okay.
So it has one, I guess.
So the Midnight has 3 ports that can be used as smart ports. One can be used as a generator, a smart port. One can be used for AC coupling or a smart port. And then the third one is just a smart port. And actually, I don't remember what the amperages are.
Well, he's got on here, it says 50, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. So it looks like which one is it? So the generator port is 60 amps, the AC coupling is 50 amps, and then the traditional smart port is up to 30 amps.
Oh, yeah. So I guess maybe he's wanting to know between that and maybe the Flex Boss, Grid Boss combo, what would you recommend, I guess?
Well, I mean, for me, it's hard to say because I haven't had any direct interaction with a Flex Boss or Grid Boss, so I'm kind of leaning one way right now.
Oh yeah, midnight. And remember, let me go ahead and I'll put Adam's link in here. And so that's his affiliate link for current connected. And I'm pretty sure that's where you got the midnight solar inverters, right? So
Correct.
if you are going to purchase one of those inverters, make sure you go ahead and use Adam's link. You know, of course, you could be helping his channel out. You know, make a little commission on it because he puts out a lot of great videos and a lot of great information. So go ahead and try to support him. Let's see. Anybody else got any questions? I haven't tried the flex balls, the grid balls, or the midnight, so I wouldn't want to give my opinion on that because I just haven't tested them out. I think they're probably both probably good options. All the videos I saw of Adams, it looked good, and then the flex balls and grid balls, almost all the EG4 stuff that's got put out lately, especially once they got with Lux Power, the stuff's been pretty good. So it's probably both good options. Eric, what do you think about that?
Yeah, man, they all look like great machines. I don't have any direct experience either with them, so I mean, Adam's going to be the expert on it, at least out of the three of us right now. So, yeah.
Well, all we can say is if anybody from EG4 is watching, if they need somebody to look at some flex bosses or grid bosses,
There you
Help
go.
us out. Help us out. You know, we can't talk about it if we haven't tested it. So let's see if we got any more questions. And if you guys see any, you let me know who it is, and I'm trying to scroll through here and find it. And let's see. Subby Sleeper says, "Are you familiar with the? I guess he means the 6000 XP. Well, I have 3 of the 6000 XP, so I guess I'm pretty familiar with it. Even though that has been sitting there for the last year plus, because that has been running my house. So you know, I definitely think that's definitely a good option if you're doing off grid. Of course, they had the 12,000 XP now as well, so it depends on how much solar you're trying to bring in and how many units you want to buy. I think they're both good options, and I haven't took my 6,000 XPs down because you know that doesn't work. So I definitely like them. So if you have a specific question, I guess go ahead and post it, and we will try to answer it. What do you got? I think you know, hey, Eric as well, 6,000 XP, so he can talk on that.
yeah, you guys both have 3 of them, right?
Yep.
That's right. Yep, I've got 3 on the wall here, and then excuse me, over here I've got another unit I'm testing, and then shortly I'll be doing 12,000 XP as well, like Rodney.
Yeah, so my whole setup in here is running on the 12,000 XP right now. So, of course, I definitely like the thing. It works great. I barely have any solar on it for how much it can take in. So that's one test that I want to try here in the future is maxing out the solar, even if I have to sit the solar panels on the ground just to do it, just test it out. Because I would like to see it running, you know, that almost 35 or whatever the amps are. I mean, that's pretty wild. I mean, for somebody off grid, hey, more solar panels is always a good thing.
You got enough panels for it?
No, I'd have to buy some more, but I'm looking into it. Unless somebody wants to send me some out now, hey, you can send me a pallet or 2 out, and we'll try it out.
That's right.
Let's see. Techno Rancher says, when are you gonna do the I guess the EG4 Flex Boss Grid Boss review? Like we were just talking about, you probably heard us say we don't have one, so it just depends. I didn't want to buy one just to test out in my shop because it's really going to be made to be doing the grid interactive, you know, stuff. So you really need to put it on a house that is looking to upgrade and put that on their house. So if one of my friends or family or somebody wants to do it and I can help them out, then I can make videos of it. So that's what I'm looking at. So I just don't want to buy it and do it because, of course, it's very expensive just to buy it and put it on my wall and do a few videos. And it's not going to be everything that you probably want to see because I'm not going to be able to put grid power on it and stuff like that. You know, it's just going to be running off grid. So that's why I haven't done it myself. Now, I don't know about Eric and Adam if they're going to do it, but they can speak on that.
Yeah, I mean, I keep considering it just because it is such a cool unit and it's got a lot of great features that I'd really like to play with. But it is quite an investment, and the return on investment isn't guaranteed. So yeah, it's tough to just grab one just to hope that it pays itself off.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, go ahead, Adam.
Well, I was just gonna pretty much say ditto. real estate here is starting to become a premium as well. And so I mean, even right now, my 6000 XP is laying down sideways on my bench, running.
Yeah, I've been thinking about taking the 12K down and installing it at somebody's house just so I can have some more room to start putting more stuff on the wall and testing. You know, because I'm not even using it right now. I am using it just to bring in solar because the solar was already going into the batteries from there. But I'll just move it over to the 12,000 XP and let that thing roll and then have some more room.
We got Warnick Family Farm says that they've got a Grid Boss and an 18K PV working great. Oh, there we go, right there. That's awesome.
And
Love
and
to hear that.
do you have videos on that? Warnick Family Farm. Let us know that in the comments. If you got some videos and we can point them to you, we can help you out there.
Yeah, and I mean the 18K PV is basically like the little brother to the Flex Boss. So it's the functionality that you see in the 18K PV, most of it was carried over and even improved in the Flex Boss, so they would be very similar.
All right, we got another question here. Mike says, "How much more lower prices do you think the lithium batteries are going to go down in price? Are we a rock bottom or going to go lower?" I don't know.
I think seeing what this upcoming administration is going to do on tariffs is going to go a long way.
Yeah.
That can definitely wreck everything, or just move the manufacturing here and allow us to get them even cheaper. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Exactly. All right, we got another question here. When programming using the working mode chart after you make changes, does it work right away or does it need to be restarted? I'm not sure. What were you talking about? The 6000 XP? They might have been talking about.
Well, for any of the Lux Power style inverters, you've got the working modes on their monitoring website. It's that new working mode page. And from every test that I've done, you don't have to restart. It should be live right away.
Very cool.
And I don't think you can even do that from the app, like on your phone. I think it's only from the website, right? That I've seen, that I remember.
Yeah, the app is
It's limited compared to the
not
web
as
page.
easy to navigate. Yeah.
Yeah. Jim, welcome to the stream.
There was a question from incoming 007, up a few. I'm going to pull that up.
Is it this one?
Yep.
What can you do to help with a huge surge, particularly a 5-ton geothermal that will get replaced soon, but not yet? Unit is currently 30 plus years at a church and going, I can't read it. Going something.
Strong.
Going strong. Okay, yeah. Let's see. There we go. Help with a huge surge. So are you going to be off grid or on grid inverter, or does it matter? I've never ran a 5-ton on any of these that I know of, but I mean, a lot of these inverters will start it, I'm guessing. So, I mean, a 12,000 XP, I would guess, would start it. I mean, 18K PV will probably start it, but it just depends on what else you have running. You know, if that's the only thing you have running, I'm sure it will. But if you're running a whole lot of loads, that's a pretty big unit to start up. So, and you can always put a soft start on there, and then you won't have those problems during the initial start, the current draw.
Yeah, for something like that, I would probably investigate a soft start either way. I mean, I know that the Flex Boss is supposed to be designed to be able to start something that large on its own, but it never hurts to limit that high inrush coming into your system.
And then, of course, the more units you have, the easier it's going to start it. So, I mean, what can you do? You can double up.
Yep. You're going off grid, just get the off grid inverters. If you're going to be grid tied, Flex Boss, Grid Boss, Midnight, 18K, those styles. So it just depends on exactly what you want to do. Let's see. What other questions we got here? Mike, he's got a question. Wouldn't you use a soft start for something like that big? Okay, yeah. So, that's
Yep.
already what we were talking about. Yes, we would. Let's see here.
Looks like Techno Rancher has a question.
I must have missed it. I'm scrolling. Techno Rancher.
Right before Jim got in. There we go.
If we were set up a new solar array, would you do a tilt mount like you constructed or a fixed mount? Okay. The only reason I would do a tilt array is if you don't have enough room to do more panels than you really need. If you're doing a limited amount of panels because of space, I would do a tilt array just so you can move it in the winter and you'll still get in plenty of solar, or at least the most that you can. But if you have plenty of room, I would do a fixed array and just get more panels, and then you can put it at kind of an average tilt and you won't have to worry about it. If you have way more, if you're just over paneling for what your needs are, and that's in my opinion, but we'll see what these guys think.
Yeah, I mean, I think also one thing to consider is, are you going to allow the panels to serve multi-purpose? Like, are you going to put them on a roof or a shed, or are they just going to be an array out in the middle of your yard or a field or something? Because if you don't mind them being fixed, then you can definitely use them as like I said, the roof to a shed or some animal shelter or whatever it is, right? So there's trade-offs for sure. But yeah, I agree with Rodney. If you've got the panels and the space, just add a few extra panels and it kind of offsets the tilt.
And remember, if you're looking up to pick up any panels, I mean, I just posted Eric's link down in the chat. So, this is a Signature Solar affiliate link. You get $50 off any order over $500 just by using his link. And of course, you'll help out his channel. So, that's just one way to thank him. And of course, Adam, you can use his link as well for coming on here and trying to help everybody out.
Appreciate
Go ahead,
that,
Adam.
Rodney.
I interrupted you. I'm sorry, Adam. Go ahead.
Oh, no, not a problem. I was just going to say, similar to what those guys were saying, if you've got a use case to where you can use it for multiple purposes, a fixed array is good. Depends on where you're located as well. So, I'm up in Michigan, and the snow would really pile up on my arrays if I didn't have the ability to tilt them somehow. If I leave the array tilted in its summer position, then I'm going to have to do a lot more cleaning during the summertime or during the winter time, as opposed to if I can tip it towards the winter angle more, it does help self clean a little bit more as well.
Yeah, some of us don't have that problem, Adam.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. We almost got some snowflakes the other day.
It was saying it was snowing at my house, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But they're talking about this week coming up. It might snow. I still don't believe it until I see it.
Got a 60% chance, what they're saying. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, Adam, you know what I just noticed about, we're streaming to multiple channels, and whenever I post that comment, I post it for you and me on both. It goes on both the channels because I'm seeing it, both of them on the combined comment box or whatever. So
cool.
non-solar related, but we're just talking about the stream stuff. So that was different.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hey, one thing I wanted to point out, anyone who has been following us or has your favorite creator that you're, following a lot, especially when it comes to Signature Solar and their affiliate links now, we used to have codes and, you'd use one of our codes to get that $50 off. Just want to let you know, as of the 1st of January, that $50 off is baked in. So you just use the link instead of using the code. So definitely if you're, watching one of Rodney's videos and you're like, I'm going to buy that. You're like, well, where the heck is his code? I know I've seen it. You don't have to go trying to find it in one of his old videos. It doesn't work anymore. So you just automatically get it. Just use the links. And that definitely does help us out, like a lot more than you would think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I forgot all about that. I talked about that last Saturday on my stream and forgot about it this time. So I appreciate that. All right, Craig H has a question. I've studied Atom and multiple other videos about the Servo GX. I'm still confused on where exactly to put the terminators. I get that they go at the end. Where really is the end?
Okay, so he must be talking about the little CAN port terminators. That it looks like a network plug that doesn't go to anything, and it's just to end the string. So with different devices, you can daisy chain them together, and so you can go from your servo to your MPPT, and then from your MPPT, you go out to your next device, and you can extend your string. It basically makes it so that you don't have to run 5, 6, 7 wires from all these different devices into your servo. So the end kind of is going to be based on how you wire it. So in my case, I have my CAN cable going from my servo to my shunt, and then from my shunt up to my charge controller. And so from that case, the end would be the servo would be the start, and then the charge controller would be the end. So think about it this way: any device that you have plugged into the CAN port that only has one cable going into that device, if that makes sense.
So hopefully that answered your question. If not, Adam's gonna have to make a video.
Yeah.
Oh man. Retro Z Machine says, did I mention it's 34 degrees C or 93 Fahrenheit right here now? Where are you at?
Oh,
93.
Good
You're not
grief.
anywhere around us. I know that.
It's 34F here.
Yeah. It's warmed up here a little bit. It's 43, but it's not 93, that's for sure.
27 here.
Yeah,
Man.
It's supposed to be 31 tomorrow. Heat wave.
Yeah. All right. Subby Sleeper's got another question. I'm installing a 6000 XP and my input from my main breaker box has a ground neutral bond. What are my options? I mean, you just leave your, I mean, you got to have a ground neutral bond somewhere, but you can just turn it off in the 6000 XP and, and just leave it in your box. I mean, I wouldn't take it out of the box. I would leave it there. So, Eric.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. I mean, if assuming that that's where it's supposed to be in that box and it's not supposed to be in a different box, I would definitely not move it to your inverter. I'd leave it where the experts placed it, or if you're putting it there for the first time, it just needs to. I wouldn't put it in the inverter.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
Adam, you got more electrical experience than a lot of us, so what do you think?
So from the code standpoint, you're supposed to have your ground neutral bond at your first means of disconnect. So in this case, that would be the main panel, the main service panel right off of the meter. So you would not want to remove that from there to move it into your inverter. You, like Rodney said, you would go and make sure that your inverter has the ground neutral bond turned off. So when you connect from your grid panel into your inverter, you're going to be bringing that ground neutral bond into your system because it's tied to that main service panel. So it's already going to be there. You don't want to introduce a second one, or in some cases, third ones, which I have heard of before. Interesting things start to happen when you have multiple ground neutral bonds in your environment.
Yeah, and it's going to be a safety issue. That's why you don't want to do it. Oh my goodness. All right, looks like we got another question here. It says, Eric, Rodney, are you experiencing any light flickering on the 6000 XP? Mine flickers and can't find the issue. Thanks. So I had this exact same problem after I had the inverters maybe a year because I did an update And I just set all the inverters to update on their own. And then I started having light flickering. I was like, what is going on? And I think what the problem was is 2 of the inverters were trying to be the host inverter. And so I ended up having to turn them all completely off, turning the first inverter on that I wanted to be the host, and just letting it run for a second, and then starting the second and the third one. Because when they restarted, I guess on their own, they must have came back up at the same time, and they were fighting each other, and that's why I had light flicker. So I had to contact EG4 and Signature Solar trying to figure out what was going on, and that's what I found out. So that's the problem I had. So I would try to, especially if you just did an update, turn them all off and turn them on one at a time. But maybe Eric's had a different solution or
Yeah, no,
problem.
that's a great tip there, and I never would have looked for it. I haven't really had that. I mean, I do have the occasional flicker if a well pump kicks on or something like that. Um, if I've got a lot of smart LEDs in my house, and when I'm sitting early in the morning and the lights are all down at like 5% or something like that, you can see a little bit of a flicker. But that's about all I've dealt with.
So hopefully that helps you out. I'm not sure if you're having a different problem. Sometimes it could be an actual problem with the inverter, but more than likely it's probably something to do with them starting at the same time, or maybe needing to do a firmware update. So I would try all that stuff first, and then contact EG4 and Signature Solar if that's where you got it from. So I mean EG4 for sure, but Signature Solar or Current Connected or wherever you purchase it from, they might be able to help you out. And if you got any more questions, just let us know. Hey, Fully Electric, welcome to the stream. Made it, but he's a little late. But hey, better late than never. Let's see what we got here.
I wanna say real quick, if you're you notice that your PV is flickering real bad or bouncing up and down like Bebop over here, could be that your chickens are walking in front of your panels. So that or it could be goats. I've definitely had goats pooping on my panels, so there's that too.
Oh man, that's funny.
That's right. Yours are on the ground.
Yeah.
Craig H says, so one big daisy chain for the VE can, Adam.
Yep, that's correct.
Let's see what else we got. I'm getting way behind on these comments. I'm trying to get through these. Let's see here. All right. Subby Sleeper says, question, for my output panel, do I separate it? Is he talking about, are they talking about that first question about the neutral ground bond and all that? Do I separate it?
Yeah,
so if you have if you have a different panel, like a sub panel, it should be separated.
Well, and like say right over here, this is very disorienting. Wherever it is, this one. So there we go. So this is my AC in. However, it's like the 4th panel from the meter. So my ground neutral bond is like 300 feet way up there at the meter. Then it goes in, well, actually, I'll take that back. This is the second one. But anyway, so assuming this was your main meter or your main panel, and that's where your ground neutral bond was, and then it goes from there into, this is so disorienting, into your inverter, then going out to your AC out, which is this one. Oh, the lag makes it so much worse. You would not have a ground neutral bond in both. You'd only have it in the first. At least that's my understanding. Does explain that correct?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Yes. So your AC in panel, if that is your first point of disconnect, I think that's the terminology. You would have your ground neutral bond there, but you would not have it in your AC out panel.
All right. And I think Mike's got a good point here. He says, technically my first point of disconnect is my 18K PV. Since I'm off grid, my inspector said to make the bond in the first service panel right next to the inverter, just FYI. So like you said, all depends on your setup, if you have grid power coming in or not. So that was a good tip. Let's see. Let me see my next question. I'm getting so far behind. It is so hard to keep up with these questions. Good evening, gentlemen. How long until solar is so effective, efficient, and affordable that I would be criminally irresponsible not to set it up? I think now.
Yeah, I think
that's me. Even in the last 3 or 4 years since I really got going into this, the prices have dropped dramatically on solar panels for sure. So I mean, they're a lot cheaper.
So let me tell y'all real quick, and I keep teasing I'm going to do a video on this, and one day I actually will. If
He's never
you
doing
live
it.
in, yeah, it's
Nope.
not going to happen. If you live in an area where you can actually choose your own electric provider and you can find one who will give you free nights, what I do every single night is I just get all the free energy I can and I shove it into every one of my batteries in this room here, and then I take that energy throughout the day and I just use it. And I only have like 3,000 watt hours of panels that are actually on the ground. When I looked at my bill this month, my electric bill was 560 something dollars, but all of it was credited back except for I think 28 bucks. So I have a $28 electric bill and I would have been paying 500 and something. Um, and if all you're buying is, a couple of wall mount batteries and a few 6,000 XPs, how long does it take you to get that $500 a month to pay for $10,000 worth of gear? And you don't even have to have solar panels. Not that long. So, at this point, I mean, it's paid for itself. We're, we're in the green, or at least we're really close to it. I haven't really done the math, but yeah, we're here.
That is awesome. I wish we had it. I wish I had it. I'm
No
telling you
kidding.
that is awesome because I could charge my EV and all that stuff even when it was cloudy. Because some days, I mean, I have to charge off the grid every once in a while, and it's because hey, you have 3 or 4 or 5 cloudy days in a row. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. But I could just charge my batteries back at night. Man, that would be awesome.
It is. It is.
As long as you set the time zone correct, right?
Oh man, so I've got this little guy over here as well, and wherever it is, it's not in the wrong direction. Everything's backwards, and it's charging up a wall mount battery. And I found out just a couple days ago. I came in here at like 8:30, and I get free energy at 9 o'clock. Came in at 8:30, and this thing is just humming. I'm like, what are you doing? And I realized, yeah, I forgot to flip the time zone. And so, that $20 a month that I just paid included, the entire month of this thing charging for an hour. Oh, well.
Yeah, that's funny. Randy L's got a question. Any of you guys have a grid boss that shows data in the app? I guess you're talking to everybody in the chat as well. So if you're in the chat and you have a grid boss and it's showing data in the app, hey, let us know down in the chat. Because none of us have a grid boss, at least yet.
Mhm.
Let's see.
See, I've seen pictures of the monitoring site having grid boss data. At least I thought I did. On the Facebook, the EG4 Facebook group.
Yeah, so it works for somebody for sure. Good late night from Portugal. Just a question, probably a bit out, but should I charge my Life Power 4 51.2 volt battery to 3.65, 3.55, or 3.45 volts each cell? I just charged the whole bat. I'm not looking at it by the cell. I guess if you're doing a DIY battery and you're looking at every battery cell, Adam, you done that. What do you think? You got the cells you built, right? The DIY battery.
Yeah, I've got 2 DIYs. I know that from my experience, every person is going to have their own idea of where to charge to. I have heard folks say that anything above 3.45 is technically fully charged. I tend to work that middle ground and stick around that 3.5, 3.55 volts per cell. I mean, once you balance your pack really well the first time, then you should be fine.
Somebody's dog.
That's mine. Sorry. My wife
Not
got a puppy.
So
I can tell you. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna post. I think I should double check before I post this. I was gonna post. Will Prowse had a video on this, and that's it. Just put it in chat there. But he was saying for individual cells, he does 3.2. For the individuals, he does absorption at 3.625 and the float at 3.4 with a low voltage disconnect of 2.5. So at least that's his recommendation. And I think he knows his stuff. I'll mute my dog.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Randy L says, Mike, your 18K PV is right after the meter with no way to disconnect power. I mean, his 18K PV was completely off grid, is what I was understanding, Randy. So,
yeah.
Let's see here. Trying to find the next question. All right, let's see what we got here. Chris has got a question. Adam, what is the depth of your wire trough under your Victron inverters? Secondly, ever think you will go to the AIO for your primary home system?
Shoot, what size is that one? I think I ended up getting all 8x8s. 8x8 by, it's either 5 foot or 6 foot for the wire trough. And that's so much better because originally I had 4x4s. And like, you talk about losing layers of your skin trying to get wires in those things. You can cram them in, and it's one of those things that it's okay if you don't see it, right? So you push the wires in real hard and then slam the cover on. But every time you open it, it's like those old, what are those peanut snake things? You pop the lid and it shoots everything out at you. That's what my 4x4 wireway was like.
So get at least that 8x8.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hearing.
So at least an 8x8. More room if you've got the space to do it and the money to buy it. I'd do a 10x10 if you could. But at least an 8x8. And even the Midnights behind me, I think they're designed for an 8x8, or excuse me, a 10x10 at minimum, but I make it work with an 8x8. And to his second question, I don't know yet. I've had multiple people ask me if what's my opinion between Victron and Midnight and EG4, because I've messed with each of them. And what I kept trying to push the question off because I didn't really want to answer it.
Yep.
But the more I think about it, nothing can beat the customization that I have found from a Victron system. I mean, I've added in Bluetooth monitoring for my propane tank in my Victron system. I've got temperature monitoring of my outdoor wood boiler with email notification alerts that my temperature is too low from my Victron system. They are
I just wonder why other people aren't doing that stuff. Like, I don't know how much it costs just to add in more, what to me seems like firmware, because a lot of this equipment, I'm sure you could just change the software and get it to do it, and it makes your stuff look so much better when you have a lot more options, available. I just think that's one thing they need to work on for sure. Other manufacturers like Victron, of course, they're doing it already, but they've been doing the RV stuff for years, where people want to be able to see exactly what's going on and do all kinds of stuff with RVs. I think that's why they are so far ahead, at least in that game.
I think that if another manufacturer starts doing those types of customizations on their systems, it's a high potential to give Victron a run for their money.
All right, Fully Electric's got a question, and we're getting pretty far behind on the questions. I'm going to try to catch up. Rodney, you're going to test out the Grow Watt, the new, I guess, the high voltage inverters with the high voltage batteries. I have no idea. I'm going to have to look at the cost of all that. So I know I had looked at the inverter, but I'm not sure if I guess you'd have to find one, the high voltage battery somewhere. I think Signature Solar started selling one as well, the battery. So I'm gonna have to go in there and look to see what the price would be of that. But I do want to test out a high voltage system because I think Mike. Now I keep forgetting what his channel name is. Mike, that has a high voltage system. Everybody knows him, but he's got a bunch of videos where he built out all his stuff, and he's got the high voltage system, and he talks about how low the current is and all that stuff. So there's a lot of good reasons to have a high voltage system. It's just not available as readily available, on the market. You have to kind of go, get the stuff yourself from China or wherever you're getting it from. But I think Signature Solar sells that high voltage battery now, so they do have one. I'm gonna have to go check it out.
LG, I think.
Yeah, LG, that's what it was. Yeah. And let's see, I'm scrolling down, and everybody, well, I just heard myself. Everybody that's on the stream, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. I might have missed your name. If I did, hey, welcome. If I see you in the chat, I'll try to say hello. It looks like we got John, Fabian, Bebop. I think I already said hello to you. Let's see here. Trying to see through Brian, Simeon. I'm scrolling through. Extreme window tinting. Blaine. If I missed your name in the chat, hey, just comment again. We'll try to get you. Say hello. But we got 65 people on the stream right now, so hey, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, 65 people in the stream and 3 likes. Come on, guys, let's smash that like button.
Oh yeah.
And for anybody else that might not have heard at the beginning, we are trying to stream to 2 separate channels right now. So if you add questions to Rodney's channel, you're not going to see them on my channel. If questions show up on my channel, you're not going to see them on Rodney's. We see them in a combined kind of a chat window so that we can try and answer them all.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, I should have told everybody that at the beginning. It's a good point. All right. Anyone, here's another question from Randy. Anyone have the Jackery smart transfer switch yet? I didn't even know they had a smart transfer switch, so I definitely don't.
Where did I see that? Oh, my mind just went blank with the channel name that I thought I saw that on.
And who we were talking about before was Mike G. Yeah, I was like, I know his name's Mike. Like, well, sometimes you just watch channels and I never pay attention to the channel name, so I always forget. But Blaine talking about the high voltage stuff, his channel is Mike G. So y'all want to go check him out. Maybe I can find a link for the high voltage and put it in the chat. His stuff is definitely interesting.
I think Ambition Strikes was the channel that I saw where they installed that.
Let me see here.
Yeah, so Brian Cox, finally got my 12,000 XP up and running. Congrats on that. Just need to add a second indoor battery. I'm just not sure whether to go with another indoor Power Pro or go with a custom DIY build. And I've only gone with the EG4 batteries here that are pre-built. I haven't done the DIY build. I think Adam is the only out of us 3 that has gone that route. So he could speak to that one for sure. Definitely a lot cheaper if you go DIY from what I've seen.
And what was the name on that comment? I'm trying to find it.
Brian Cox, about 6 up from the bottom.
All right.
Oh yeah, there it is. I see it now.
Okay, I got it. Adam? Oh no, is this the right one? 12,000 XP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last part of his comment was whether you should go DIY or an indoor Power Pro.
Okay.
You do save a lot when you can DIY your own pack. But you also have to think about all the little extras that you need to include. So you need some place to put all those batteries. You need to add in your own BMS, all your own little safety features that the other pre-built batteries already contain. I know for me, I have to have two. Well, I have to have a 4 foot by 4 foot shelf just for the DIY cells sitting out, and it takes up a lot of space. Whereas, Eric, do you have some of the wall mounts?
I've got one wall mount, and then I've got 7 of the server rack.
Okay, and then I know Rodney's got several of the wall mounts.
Yep. So I like the wall mounts because they're kind of out of the way, and so if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably, of course, they didn't have wall mounts when I bought a bunch of mine, but I would go with the wall mount batteries. But they're very heavy, so you just need to be able to move them. So think about that.
Yeah, they're a beast.
Yeah.
I will say that it is nice to be able to know how a lot of the different pieces work when you have to go through and DIY your own battery, because then it gives you a good understanding of things, or at least hopefully it does, to where if you decide to go server rack or wall mount down the road, you kind of understand how it all works together.
Let's see. Robert saying EG4 use Eve cells. I can't remember off the top of my head. I mean, I know they're going to use good cells because, you know, they're going to try to get the best thing out there, so their warranty is going to be good. I'd have to look it up again. I know I knew it one time, but I can't remember. Eric, Adam, do y'all know? No.
I actually don't have any EG4 batteries, so
yep.
I think you're right, but
yeah. Electronic Wizard and Solar Tech says, watching from y'all tell me that name.
Guyana.
Guyana. That's what I thought, but I was like, I'm not sure. Hey, we got people watching from all over the world. That's all I know.
That's
you
cool.
know. I think we saw somebody from Portugal earlier. And this one right here says, tropical East Coast Australia here. People are all over the place. That is wild.
And Robert's got the Israeli flag, I believe that is. Is that support, or are you over there in Israel?
Trying to get down to some more questions.
I've got some feedback now. Are you guys getting that?
I just heard that, but I only hear it every once in a blue moon. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
I've heard it like twice when I was talking.
I think sometimes it's when I mute and then unmute my mic, then it doesn't quite realize that it's supposed to be cutting it out. Yeah, Antonio says, do you need a permit for off-grid setup? Yeah, I guess it depends on where you live.
Yeah, it all depends on where you live.
Texas? No. Yeah, I guess it depends on just where you live and if your neighbors are close enough to snitch on you.
Yeah, what kind of AHJ do you live in?
Yeah, Robert says currently in Washington State.
All right.
And then I don't know what battery to talk about. It says someone brought up on Rodney's last stream, looks like a great deal if it has a good warranty. They must be talking about the eco-worthy server rack battery. So I don't know if either one of you guys saw the live stream I did Saturday, but somebody brought up that battery was only $800 and some for 100 amp hour, 48 volt or 51.2 volt server rack battery. And I'm like, that is crazy. So I contacted them, and they're going to send me one to test out.
Yeah,
I'm like, that is a deal, man. So if it's good and it's got a decent warranty, because eco-worthy's been out for a while, they make all kinds of stuff. So if the battery's good, I mean, I don't see how anybody could beat that thing. 800 and some. I think it was $819 for a server rack battery with free shipping. I mean, that is crazy. So the DIY battery thing versus that, it's no contents. I'm getting that because you don't have to do any work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Mike says, I live in Colorado and needed a permit and everything, state inspection, etc. So like you said, it just depends on where you're at. I didn't do a permit. I did go to my county website just to try to see what it says about off-grid solar. It had no information about it, so I take that as I can do it. I'm not going to ask. I mean, to me, you shouldn't ask unless you want to pay more money to the government. But that's just my opinion. Now, if it blatantly says I'm doing something wrong, I'm probably going to try not to do it. But, most of the time, you're going to be fine. They drive by my house all the time in those trucks for the county inspectors, and they've never stopped and said anything. When they did say something when I was building my addition on my house, because I didn't have a permit for that either, but, you should have permits. I had to get one after that. Oh, man. I was doing it all myself. To me, you shouldn't need a permit, but they made me get one. Let's see here. Okay, the questions, where are they at here? The comments are coming in quick. Okay, what BMS does the EG4 batteries use? They're asking a lot of questions I've probably knew at some point, and now I do not know.
No idea.
I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head.
If I ever
for
have
sure.
to replace it, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I know whatever it is, it's been modified for EG4 for kind of a custom protocol, but I don't know exactly who manufactures it.
Retro Z Machine says, don't ask, don't tell. Yep. That's definitely my motto when it comes to permits. Gavin says, yeah, the EcoWorth is actually a decent battery. I'm editing a video on it now. So bam, he beat me to it.
Yeah.
So I hadn't got one yet, but I'm gonna get one to test it as well, because I'm like, that is crazy. I just heard about it Saturday, so that's awesome. So if you guys are interested, go subscribe to Gavin's channel. Of course, everybody here probably already knows who he is, I'm sure, in the DIY community. So go check his channel out, subscribe, and he's gonna have that video out apparently soon since he's editing it.
One of these days we'll get him on here.
Yeah, we've tried. We can make room for 4. Let's see here. I'm trying to get down to more questions. If y'all see one, you let me know.
A while back, I don't know if you have to try to go find it, but someone, I don't know where it was, someone was mentioning that they had solar panels, a whole pallet delivered, sitting vertically. Have y'all seen that? Mine came face down, but standing up on edge, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've had quite a few like that. Yeah, so to me, that's kind of normal. To me, it's weird when they're laying down. I've seen way more of them standing straight up. So,
okay.
I guess it depends on what kind of manufacturer or whoever. I guess the brand.
Yeah, I bought mine used, so I guess they were just taking them off another pallet, throwing them onto this one. I was asking for tips on how to get them down without them falling apart, I believe.
Get a second person. That's what I always do. I always get my son to hold them, but yeah, you can clamp them or something.
Squeeze clamps from Home Depot.
Yeah.
I saw Evan from Country View Solar do that for what? He just added a bunch of panels onto his barn roof, and they all came vertical. And I had never seen a pallet come vertical before, like Eric. Mine had always come flat. So you just bend over and pick one up at a time. But yeah, he said just grab a clamp, put it on there, and pull one off at a time. Save that one.
Randy says, Gavin, did your batteries come bent from shipping? So he must have saw a video of his. All I look at is a question mark, and I just throw it up there. I guess I need to start reading it first. He's talking to Gavin, so Gavin can answer that for him. Steps 2 steps from off grid says, had one pallet come flat, and the latest pallet came straight up. So yeah, they come both ways apparently. Let's see here. Randy L says eco-worthy shipping is free. So for that 48-volt battery, I don't know how they're doing it. $800 some, and the shipping's free. All right, EG4 14.3 kilowatt battery or the Midnight Solar 16 kilowatt hour, both around the same price. Adam, do you have a Midnight battery? No. Adam, is he froze?
Oh, he's froze. Well,
oh
I mean,
no!
I would say it depends on your inverter. You know, I mean, if you want a closed loop system that is all from the same manufacturer, there is some merit to that for sure. I imagine you can. He says his internet's slowing down. Bummer. You know, I imagine you can mix and match those batteries, but you know, I guess it's a personal thing. Now, obviously, if you can squeeze out a few extra kilowatt hours for the same price, you know, that's nice.
I'm just reading the comments. Oh man, Retro Z Machine says Adam looks quite serious there. He's froze in a perfect position for this stream, I guess. Like,
reading the comments.
That is funny. So hopefully his stuff starts working and he can come on back. Let's see what he says here. It says his internet is slowing down, like Eric said. That is funny. Electronic Wizard and Solar Tech says Guyana is located in South America next to Venezuela.
Nice.
That is awesome. I know your weather's better than ours right now. Oh man. I don't mind the cold myself, but you know, I'd rather be cold and be 95 degrees and sweating bullets here in North Carolina. So with the humidity,
man, I hate the cold. I hate the cold so much. Yeah.
I take it you missed my Flex Boss 21 question. I apparently did because I did scroll down to find a different one earlier. So go ahead and post that again for the electrics because I must have missed it. All right, Adam is back. Let's see here. Bam! Welcome back,
Still
Adam.
The same face. Oh,
still the same face. Oh,
oh
man!
Is it perturbed or annoyed?
Just kind of that was funny. Oh man. Okay. Easy Ride says, I want to hear Adam's take on the Midnight 16 kilowatt hour battery. I don't know if you heard that question, Adam. Either the 14.3 EG4 battery or the 16 kilowatt Midnight battery. And I was asking, did you have a Midnight battery? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, so I've got the Midnight 16K battery, and it's a beast. I imagine it's just as much of a beast as the EG4 battery is.
Yeah.
So the comment was both are around the same price. Well, to me, it just says, well, if they're the same price, which one are you going to get more capacity out of? And I mean, 16 versus 14. I'd go with the 16. I mean, I've been running it for several months now. No issues other than the fact that you feel like you're going to have a hernia if you have to move it. But
and one thing Eric brought up, Adam, when you were off is the communication. So depending on what brand inverter you have, if you want closed loop communications, you may want to get a Midnight. If you got a Midnight inverter, you might want to get the EG4 if you got the EG4 inverter. So that's another thing he talked about.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I know that the Midnight uses the pylon protocol. It's a modified version of the pylon protocol. So if you use it with the Midnight inverters, you're supposed to be able to get more detail from the battery, but it will close loop with the 6000 XP. It'll close loop with the Victrons, but I'm pretty sure the EG4s, you can change the protocol on those to work with other batteries too, right?
On some of them, yes. And okay. I know I have the Sun Gold Power wall mount battery. I could never get it to work with the EG4 stuff. And I'm guessing it was a Sun Gold problem. But, I mean, you can change the protocols on there. And I changed it to all the different EG4 stuff I could find. I could never figure out how to get the thing to work and communicate. So some people might have better luck than me. But, you know, it might just be the Sun Gold battery. But the Midnight stuff is probably better.
Well, I've got a Sun Gold inverter and an EG4 battery, and I can't get those to communicate either. So
it's probably Sun Gold. Oh man. So let's see here. I just saw a question somewhere. Brian says, "How's
Well,
your 12K XP running, Rod? You mean the 12K or the 12,000 XP? I have both of them. So I'm using the 12,000 XP, if that's the one you're talking about, right now to run my whole shop or whatever, YouTube studio, whatever you want to call it. And it runs a mini split all the time, 24 hours a day. It charges my electric car, runs my little live stream setup here, all my computers and all that stuff. So it's been doing pretty good. And I did have the 12K doing it for a while until I got the 12,000 XP. And I still have the 12K running, but I'm not pulling any power out because I just got the breaker off. I just have solar coming in and it's charging the battery. So they're both running, even though one of them's not really doing any output. So depending on which one you're talking about, they've been running good for me, what I've been using for.
I want to know what the marketing department over at EG4 was thinking whenever they were coming up with these names. Like, you know what? These two almost sound identical. Let's
make it more confusing. Let's see here. I'm trying to get down to some more questions. Here we go. John says, anyone have the I can't say that. Ruxu 1216 or 2-16 battery? Thoughts on it as a Ruxu, I can't say it. As a manufacturer, I mean, the videos I've seen, they look pretty good, but I've never tested one out personally, so I couldn't comment on the build quality, but the videos look good for sure.
Yeah, and Adam, if I remember, they're fairly inexpensive too, aren't they? I mean,
compared
to some.
Yeah. I guess one of us is gonna have to get one and test it out. Apparently.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried months ago to get one or get something from them.
Yeah, I've contacted them and never heard anything back. So my channel's too small. Let's see. Fully Electric says, does the EG4 FlexBoss 21 support backfeeding the main panel just like the 18K PV or the 12K PV batteries or solar source? I'd have to look at the specs again. I'm pretty sure it does, but I don't know off the top of my head for sure. I looked at all the FlexBoss stuff right when it came out, all the specs, but I haven't looked at it lately, so I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me see if I can look it up.
Yeah. It can, just like the 18K PV.
Okay. Yeah, my parents' 18K will feed right back into their main panel, from the batteries or solar, and it's the panel that's just getting grid input into the 18K, so it'll go back and forth. So it's pretty nice. Let's see here. Find some more questions here. And if Adam, you or Eric have anything that you want to bring up and talk about that's not in these questions that you thought of, hey, just let me know while I'm looking here.
Yeah. So Brian Cox was saying that it was talking about the 12,000 XP. Says his kicks over to the grid at 9,600 watts, 96 to 9,800 watts.
Yeah, I do not, like I said, I do not have grid power going into mine, so it's never going to kick over to the grid, but it may be a setting.
It could also be a load imbalance.
Yeah, that as well. Yep. I didn't think about that.
If you're pulling too much on one leg, it might just have to kick over.
Yeah. So you may want to check into that. That was a good tip from Eric there. Let's see. Adam ran out. Yeah. Somebody said Adam ran out of battery. Oh, that is funny. Oh man.
Every once in a while though, Adam will still be reading the comments and I'm like, is he frozen? Then he blinks. I'm like, okay, yeah. You're really good at staying still, man.
Yeah, I am not. Donnie says, hey fella, sorry I'm late.
Donnie, hey.
Welcome.
Donnie, hey. I have to do chores to get done with this.
Let's see here.
Donnie, you get your 6,000 XPs installed, or your 6,000 XP and wall mount. That's what you just got. No, you had snow on the ground and couldn't get them in. I'm curious.
All right, we got another question. We'll get that in the chat here in a minute. What is the best way to add extra MPPT to a 12K with indoor wall mounts? So I guess your 12K doesn't take in enough solar, you're saying? it depends on, I guess, how you want to do it. I mean, you could use a Victron, MPPT. I mean, you could use anything, but you can use what else do they have? Let's see here.
Say EG4's got
But
a
Yeah, I think they
100.
got one too. Yeah,
but is the question like, do you
the
go to an
connections.
external bus bar or do you run it straight to one of the batteries? I don't
So
know.
I have. Let me show you here. Let me see if I can turn this. Oh, I'm gonna mess my stuff up. Okay, let me make myself bigger here.
All
All
right,
right, so
I'll
what I
try the
got over
same thing.
here, I got a Victron bus
There you go.
bar right here, and I got it going over to the top of my indoor wall mount battery. So you can do that, and that works. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
let me get everybody back on here.
Yeah, those are nice bus bars.
They're not cheap, but they are
Mm-hmm.
very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Hey, I just got a pair of Overkill Solar bus bars that were nice as well. I'd never used them before. I think Gavin pointed them out to me once. Um, and those have 8 connections on them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm at the look up those. I haven't seen those before. I don't think.
Overkill Solar.
Hey Adam, have you been able to max out both of your midnight inverters yet? From James G.
Not yet. Since we're coming into, well, not coming into, we're full blown winter. But I use an outdoor wood boiler which handles all of our domestic hot water. So our electric hot water heater is not used at all during the wintertime.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
that's usually my biggest load. But before I can go through and truly max out the inverters, or at least attempt to, I need to add proper wire gauge. What the manual recommends. It recommends 2 gauge connections for the inverters, and I'm currently running 4 gauge. I mean, I could do max for a short burst, but it's not something that I really would want to leave in there running for an extended period of time.
All right, how loud is the 18K PV when it's above 6 kilowatts? So my parents, I know when a thing is like below maybe 5 kilowatts of either solar or output power, it makes no noise at all. I mean, it's completely silent, and it's just based on how high it goes, what the sound's going to be. It's just going to go up with how much you're using it. But I mean, it's one of the quietest inverters I've ever had for sure. So it is not loud at all. And especially my mounted my parents on the outside, so it doesn't really matter. But if you got it mounted on the inside, I guess you would care. But depends on how much solar you got coming into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is one thing that really kind of threw me off at first. I didn't realize when I first got my solar installed on my inverters that they're just as loud bringing solar in as they are putting AC out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you don't really think about until you hear it, and you're like, "Whoa, that's pretty wild."
Yeah, to the inverter, it's just another load, whether it's the solar load or an output load.
Mm-hmm. Donnie says you're going to work on it tomorrow. All right, man. There it is.
It says, we got another question here. Rick, it says, is there a way to set up a dump load with the EG4 inverters, but that power into a water heater or space heater? It depends on which EG4 inverter you have. I mean, I think maybe they all have it now where they do a smart load. The 6000 XP, I think that update did it, right? Yeah. So
Yep.
most of them will do that. So let's see here. What do you use what do you guys hang those inverters? They are very heavy. What do you use hang it? I guess they're saying, I mean, they come with a mount. I mean, a plate. So I mean, you just use that.
Yeah. A stud for sure in the wall. Or I think most of us put plywood behind our concrete board or cement board.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, they just hang from two They hang from 2 screws up at the top, big old screws, and then one down on the bottom to anchor it so it's not flopping around.
All right, let's see. Where can I find the PV wires and battery cable breaker and disconnects at? There's a lot of different places. I think Signature Solar has that stuff. Current Connected. It depends on where you want to buy it from. I mean, if you want to get it from Adam, I just posted his link right there for Current Connected. If you want to get it from Eric, I posted his Signature Solar link right there. So either one of those, you're going to be able to go get all that stuff. Let's see here. Let's see. You guys ever roll your own batteries like a what? Google case? What? Goble case with E cells? I have no idea what that is. So
Adam, he's talking about they have DIY battery cases where you can put your own cells into these cases, and the cells or the cases come unassembled for the most part, so you have to put it all together. I know Andy Off Grid Garage has done a lot of those. I think I just saw Lithium Solar just did another one of those. I know I've toyed around with the idea even for my cells, but you would want to do that on cells that either haven't been used or were already fixtured together at some point. Otherwise, you're going to start to get that bloat on your cells, and you're just not going to be able to get them into one of these DIY cases.
So it's like a kit for building your own battery.
Yeah, it's a server rack battery kit. Some of them you can buy the cells with it, and then you just do all the assembly. Some of them, I think, like $500-600 for the case kit, maybe.
And you had mentioned this earlier, Adam. You'd said something about just when you build your own battery, you're just so much more aware of how things work. You really intimately know the battery itself, and you're able to fix it. And like, there's so much value to that type of thing. And even like, so we've got a sawmill on the property, and sure, we could have purchased one and just had it dropped off, but we literally it came on 2 pallets with like, I don't know, like 75 boxes and 40 bags in each box. I mean, it was such a huge project. But I feel like if there's anything that ever goes wrong on that mill, like, I know exactly what it is. And so there's definitely some value to that, wiring our entire house, doing all the plumbing, building the whole darn thing, really. It's like you know what's wrong with it, building out these systems, even though for the most part, these systems are all in one, but it's also this choose your own adventure of how are you going to get the wires from A to B, and how it's this whole, like, almost, it becomes an obsession of trying to figure out the best way to do it and redo it and do it again. And but then once you do it, you learn so much along the way. So I can definitely see how going with one of these other systems, that you're building your own battery or whatnot, there's a lot of value there. But there's also the time trade-off of how much time can you actually spend, because all of this is already a huge time suck. So I feel like it's, if you've got the time or you just absolutely don't have the money, then go that route. But there's no shame in buying a pre-assembled battery there.
And to go right into that, Fully Electric says, Adam, is there any reason you do not have any EG4 batteries? Do you not like them?
There's really no reason. Batteries are expensive for me, just like everybody else, and nobody sent me one yet to look at. So,
yeah.
Simple answer. Agree. Let's see here. Trying to find some more questions.
Eric, did you get the Woodland Mills sawmill?
No, it's shoot, now you put me on the spot. We've had it a few years, probably 5, 6 years. What is it? Thanks. You just like kicked it right out of my brain. I'll come back to it in a second. Norwood.
Norwood.
Yeah.
All right, Rickett says optimizers, microinverters, or string the panels together. What do you guys prefer? Is the added cost of optimizers and microinverters worth it? I think it just depends on, like a lot of things, how much space you have to put up more panels. If you're limited on space and it's partially shaded, you may want to use some optimizers or microinverters just to be able to optimize your system and get all the solar in you can. But if you have plenty of room and no shading, there's no reason to have them, but just string them together. But that's just my opinion, I guess. Eric, Adam, no comment.
Yep.
All right, let's see here.
I know that the coop build that I did this last summer, where I put the solar roof on the coop, I've had a lot of shading on those panels, and I knew that I was going to have that problem. And so I think I'm actually going to look at trying out some optimizers on those different panels and see how big of a difference does it actually make. Because you can watch the shade just creep across these panels all day long. And I have them set up as a couple of strings in parallel to try to combat that a little bit. But I'm kind of in your boat. I kind of want to see, do the optimizers actually do what they say they're going to do?
Well, the optimizer I have at my parents' house, I definitely see them doing what they said they would do. So I need to make some videos on it, I guess. But part of their panels are getting shaded, so I don't want to take out the whole string. So I put those optimizers on there, and you can go in there and see what power each one is pulling in. And one could be pulling in 200 watts, and another one's pulling in like 20. So it's definitely bringing in a lot more power with having them, at least from what I've seen. Just more videos to make. Yep. Antonio says, thanks, guys. Now I just ran out of battery on my phone. Laugh out loud. Hey, you got to get your EG4 battery and just take it around with you, I guess. Let's see. Eric is 100% right. Knowing all of your stuff works is priceless.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Let's see here. And Unc Joe's Playhouse says, it is an expensive hobby. I guess talking about solar for sure. It is. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the chat. I'm working on it. Let's see here. Hey guys, can you tell us the most dangerous thing that happened to each of you while building your setups? How you solve it? Most dangerous thing. I mean, I have put my multimeter on a battery and it wasn't on DC before and arced the thing out. But I don't know how dangerous it was, but it scared me to death. I know that. I think Adam's shocked himself before with his solar panels, but
few times, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I had one of my old inverters, is the 6000 EXs, and they were connected to the batteries. And I had them laying flat on my desk, and I dropped my screwdriver into the case, and the screwdriver landed on the landed on the negative terminal on like backside of it, and then was like teetering right next to the positive terminal, and it would have been a direct short, and it would have ruined everything. So, that had me puckered up pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of DIY batteries, when I was first building my very first pack, I looked at all the cells and I'm like, this is going to be easy. Positive to negative, positive to negative. And I was working on doing the initial charge, trying to get everything charged up before I parallel them all together. And for whatever reason, I laid a bus bar down, connecting the positive and negative between two cells. And I had an instant brain fart. And I connected the other positive and negative of the same two cells together. So I had both positives connected to the negative of the two cells together, creating one big circle. And as soon as I dropped that down, it started arcing and everything. And the only thing that prevented those bus bars from being permanently welded to the top of the cell was the fact that the spark freaked me out and I flung my hand up in the air. And my finger caught the bus bar and flicked it off.
Oh my gosh.
But
Is
yeah,
that on video?
No, that was before I started recording anything.
That would be awesome. I mean, not awesome that it happened, but it'd been awesome to get it on video. Oh my goodness. That is funny. Yeah.
Don't
do that. All right, Mike says, laugh out loud. Meanwhile, at Rodney Hunt just gives EG4 batteries away during his live streams. Hey, like I said, that's not me. That's because of you guys supporting the channel. I guess I need to post my own link here if I got it. All right, I just posted my own link. If you want to use my link and support the channel, remember you get that $50 off automatically over off all orders over $500. And then at the end of the month, going into next month, I'll see everybody that made a purchase through my links for this month. And depending on how much money I make, I'll take a small percentage of that and give something back to the community. And I have been able to give away EG4 batteries because I've been making pretty good the last couple of months. So we'll see if we can keep that up. It's really slowed down this month, just so everybody knows. So it might not be a battery this month, but hey, it could always pick back up. So if you want to support me or Eric or Adam, I posted all the links. I got the links down in the description. You go check us all out and support us. But I do try to support the people that support me because, I wouldn't be doing anything if it wasn't for you guys. I'd just be making videos and talking to myself, I guess. So let's see. All right, I've definitely missed a lot. Oh, I got a super chat. Bam, $5 from Fully Electric. Is that the first super chat I ever got? I think so. Or Eric just sent me one too. Hold on, I'm scrolling through here. Man, thanks. I think those are the first super chats I ever got that I remember, and I definitely appreciate it. Hey, every dollar helps. And then I had a channel member. Fully Electric became a channel member as well. So. And I have a few channel members, and I haven't really been doing anything for you guys, so I need to start doing some live streams just for you, but it's so few people, I don't know if anybody's going to show up. If you will show up, I guess just let me know, and we can do one together. All right, let's see here. Do y'all see any more questions? Oh, here we go. Jetfire says, how many watts is your solar array, Rodney? Which solar array? So on my house, I have, oh, man, I don't know. I can't even remember now. 12 or 15K maybe now. I can't remember. I'd have to think about it. And then over here on my building, I have about 7 kilowatts maybe, or 6 or something like that. See, it's bad. I've had this stuff and just do so much stuff with solar. I can't even remember what I got now. But I have quite a bit, and I still have to add a lot more to run my house. So I'll be making another array coming up soon. And if you didn't know from my last live stream, basically I got rid of my chickens for right now, and I'm going to get some new ones in February. So I got a little bit of time. I'm going to build an array basically over where my chicken run is. And then I have a 6000 XP that only has one MPPT being used. So I'm going to use the other one with a new array and try to get a little more solar in. And if I missed your question, you might want to post it again because I just skipped down basically all the way down to the bottom by accident. So I don't know where I was at. Let's see here. Let's see. How often do you wash your solar panels? I have done it before, but rarely.
Depends on how much go poops on them.
Yeah, birds. Yeah.
Anyone planning to review the new Bright Mount Cat 1 ground mount by EG4?
They made a new one.
Yeah.
I knew that. I thought they. Yeah, last I knew, they only had.
They have those Chico ones.
Yeah. I mean, I know they had their first version Bright Mount.
Yeah. So they have a second version basically now.
Okay.
Is it cheaper?
So what's different?
I think that it may have might have to build in extensions and stuff like that. I think I'd have to look it up again. I looked at it once, but I wasn't looking to get one at that time, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it.
310 bucks, holds 3 to 4 panels. Trying to see what looks different on it. Currently on back order.
All right, let's. I'm gonna jump on a question while he's looking at that. Any of you tried connecting a microinverter to the 6000 XP generator port to see if it works? I'm afraid to fry mine. Laugh out loud. I have not done that. Eric, no? Adam, we all have one, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done it. I've talked to a few people that have done it, and as long as you make sure that your setting is in AC couple mode and not in generator or smart port mode, you should be fine.
Craig says, when sizing your wire, do you calculate the length from the inverter to the battery terminal through bus bars, etc., or just the length between connectors on each end? I mean, I would do the total from all the way from the battery to the inverter and make sure they're all the same. So even if it's going through a bus bar or whatever it's going through, that's what I do.
Where is it?
Let's see here. Retro Z Machine says, checking voltage drop. I guess he's talking to Craig. Let's see here. Sammy, let's see here. You might have a... The difference is that the new one comes with extensions, Bright Mount Cat 1. So that's what I thought, yeah. Let's see. Farm Life. I'm installing a new 6000 XP in my shed. I have a Hardy backer board, but do you guys recommend a layer of plywood underneath that? Yeah, that's what I have. Plywood and then the backer board.
Unless you're able to go straight a stud through it.
Eric?
I was just saying, sorry, I muted myself because the dog's going nuts again. Yeah, no, I was just saying, it gives you so much more flexibility. I mean, you don't have to worry about where you're putting stuff. It's like, if you put a screw in the wall, it's going to hold, and you don't have to really think where are the studs, and I've got to line it all up. And yeah, every time if I put a party board, I put a plywood.
Adam, same.
Yeah, I mean, if you know you're going to be moving stuff around, or if you're looking to add other things in the near future, then yeah, I would add 2 layers. If you know that there's a stud directly behind where your hardy board is, you could get away with it, but it doesn't. Honestly, save yourself the hassle down the road of trying to remember where's the stud at, and just put some plywood behind it.
Exactly. Let's see. Jay Hood says, Eric, what batteries are you using? Are you running?
Yeah, so I have an EG4 cabinet full of the original Life Power 4 batteries, so 6 of those, and then I've got a V2 sitting on top of it, which, man, that reminds me, I never put out the 3D print files for my my feet that I've since it's sitting on top. I wanted to be able to run wires and stuff underneath it, and so I've got these little feet that I printed up, or designed and printed. I I need to get them live. So it's a good reminder. And then over here, I've got a EG4 Indoor Power Pro. So that's kind of my testing station over there. And then I take that in every day. I dump that into this one. So use the charge verter to get it over there.
All right, Thomas says, any of you run into any temperature sensor issues with the EG4 batteries? I have not, and I have quite a few batteries. So,
high temp or low temp? I mean, I'm not having any issues either way, but I'm just curious.
Low temp. I have not, but I guess, I mean, anything can have a problem. Electronics, I mean, shipment and, stuff can get loose and damaged and everything else. So I definitely, it can happen.
Is the low temp not kicking in, or is it kicking in when the batteries aren't low enough?
Says mine goes down to 500 degrees if it goes below 32. So it just goes out. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that problem, but most of my batteries are not getting less than 32 degrees either, so because they're inside.
Yeah, I had the opportunity for them to last week, but I definitely kept a space heater pointed at the cabinet all night.
I would check and see if you're running the latest firmware for those batteries. Maybe it was a known bug that was fixed in a firmware patch.
Exactly. Full Electric says, at Rodney Hunt, do you all have full EV cars, and if so, what models? I guess you're talking to all of us, or just me? I have one electric car, and then I have, of course, the gas cars, because to me it doesn't make sense to have only an electric car, because during an emergency you never know if you're gonna have power wherever you got to go. So I'm gonna have gas vehicles as well. I definitely think it's a good option, especially for people with a preparedness mindset and self-reliance mindset, because I can charge my car with my solar. If you have solar, to me, it's a good idea to have an EV if you can afford it. I got a really inexpensive one compared to all the other ones. I got a Nissan Leaf. So, it's relatively inexpensive, and I can get back and forth to work and pretty much go everywhere I need to go locally in the area, and I can charge it at home all the time. Now, I don't think EVs are, the thing to have for everyone in your family, at least in my opinion. But it just depends on what you want to do with it. So if you want to be able to get somewhere like 500 miles away or 600 miles away, to me, I would rather have a gas vehicle just to make sure. It's a lot easier to find somewhere to get gas than charge an electric car, even today. So,
well, and they also don't make any EVs that you can put 18 kids into. So,
yes, exactly. But they are getting ready to make something that I've been looking at. Not that I can afford a brand new truck, but if I did buy one, it would be the Ram Charger that's getting ready to come out. It's going to get about 690 miles total. It's going to have all electric motors. It's going to have like maybe 150 miles or something like that of range on electric only, and then it has a gas engine to charge the battery back and to run the electric motors, and you get 690 miles. So I think it averages out to be about 24 or 25 miles at a gallon for a full-size truck that'll go like 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. So, it's got like 600 and some horsepower. That thing looks awesome. I think they're going to, if they make enough of them, I think they're going to sell more than the F-150, because that is definitely an option that people want. They want to have the electric because you got all the power from the electric and the torque, and then you can go back and forth to work or just to the town and just charge it back at your house. But if you need to go on a road trip or take somebody somewhere to the airport that's a few hours away, you got 690 miles of range because you got a gas vehicle that can be charged, can charge the batteries back as you're driving. So it's the best of both worlds. You haven't seen a lot of hybrids like that. So, and it's a plug-in hybrid. You can also stop somewhere and charge it like at a DC fast charger and charge the battery back. So does two different things. Cool. Let's see here. Old Man's Garage says, agree on having the EV as a second car that I can charge from solar. Yeah, and you can find some cheap ones out there, especially the Nissan Leafs, the older ones like that. You know, the range is not going to be great on them, but if you only need to drive a few miles to town or the grocery store or something like that, and you get a vehicle that's got 50 miles of range, you know, that's going to be fine if you have solar. You just plug it in, drive to town, drive back. Mine is supposed to have 150 miles of range. It's probably more like 120 miles of range, but that's perfect for me for just going to town, going to work, and coming back. And I just charge it back at my house, and probably 99% of the time on solar. So I'm not anti EV like some people. I like the technology. I just think people shouldn't be forced to get it, and there shouldn't be any incentives or anything like that compared to a gas vehicle. They should all be the same, treated the same, and you shouldn't be pushing it. It should be my choice, not the government's.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get started on that. Okay. What do you guys think, Eric, Adam? Electric vehicles.
Man,
I know we talked about it a little bit before.
Yeah. So, my wife, she drives an Expedition, EL. We've got a big family like Rodney, not as big, but we've got 4 boys, and we go camping and whatnot. We need a lot of extra room, and so that's our vehicle we take. Unless we're taking my truck, I've got an old 1999 F250. It's a 7.3 Power Stroke. I love that thing. It stinks. It's loud. It's a lot of fun to drive. But if I put more than 60 miles a week into the car, I would probably start looking for an EV. I mean, like, not if it was more than 60, but like that's about what I drive, right? I never leave the property anymore. Work from home, do everything from home. But if I had a job where I was driving around all the time, especially with our free electricity, and then just the lifestyle that we've all chosen to live, man, I would 100% get myself an EV. Maybe when prices come down a bit, I'll look at something, but I just don't get in the car enough to care. But from the preparedness standpoint, I think it's a great opportunity. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, like Eric, I don't leave the house a whole lot anymore. I mean, ever since I started working from home, when I need to go to work, I go downstairs and sit in front of the computer. So, I mean, I've got a 2002 Avalon with 315,000 miles on it. It's rusting like all get out. You can almost see through from one side to the other, but it gets me where I need to go when I need to, go pick up hay or firewood or whatever. I would love, I mean, the concept of being able to use my solar system to recharge or replenish my vehicle is a very appealing side of the EV and the solar aspect. But I would probably want to get to the point to where I know that I'm 100% self-sufficient on solar first, because you're going to end up using an awful lot of power from your solar system trying to recharge your EV battery if you have a full-blown EV. Now, we're actually going on a family vacation to Florida at the end of April, and I did put my rental down for an EV. So I want to see, this will be my first experience. It'll be interesting to see, what's it all like. And I mean, my wife was like, "You did what?"
Oh
But,
man.
when we go on vacation and stuff, we try to pick something. If we have to rent a car, we try to pick something that, we don't have, or, we're not planning on getting anytime soon. Make it a little fun. So I
And
figure,
the
why
thing with
not?
going on a family vacation is usually you're going to be stopping a lot anyway. Because if you have kids, we all know you got to stop. I got to use the bathroom. But anyway, so you're going to be stopping a lot anyway. Then you're going to stop, charge your car for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, go in a store, let them walk around, play a little bit, whatever. I think it's great for for families for sure, depending on how big your family is. My family, I mean, there's not an EV big enough for all of us, but if there was, I would have it. If there was a big van, because my wife and them going back and forth, different places, and just using gas, it just don't make sense if you have solar. And I would just get more solar and be able to charge that. And so, gas is not cheap if you're riding around all the time. So, and my family, they like to go. Let me see here. I'm sure we missed a bunch of questions here, but I'm gonna try to scroll down and see what we missed here.
Yeah, an electric bicycle. Someone said something about. I think it was Bebop. Oh yeah, there was. Yeah, EV bicycle. Yeah, honestly, I think that's a fantastic little prep. Right, just
Oh yeah.
having the ability to, if you need to go, 80 miles or whatever, or not you need to go 80 miles, but I'm sure that's probably what the range is on one of these things. But like you need to go 10 miles into town or something and back round trip. Grid's down. It's an emergency. You got to go somewhere and you really got to get there. I mean, that's not bad. I've considered it many times.
I keeping my eyes open for even an electric UTV or even a golf cart after doing that Vatra golf cart conversion, doing something like that just to get around, because even that Vatra battery was like 50 miles on a charge.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thomas says, any issues with the 12K inverters? I got dual 6Ks on my off-grid shop, looking at moving them into the gun room and upgrading my shop to dual 12Ks. I got megawatt hours through those 6Ks. So I haven't had any problems with the 12,000 XP. I don't know if you're talking about the 12,000 XP or 12K or the 12K. I think the 12,000 XP had a problem, but they did a firmware update or something where they would get to 100%, and I think the thing would freeze or get an error or something like that. And I think they did a firmware update. So mine's been working fine. It's running the shop right now. So I definitely like it. And it'll take in a lot of solar. So I think it's a good option. Let's see. Mike says, I actually envisioned Adam in a soccer mom van rather than a sedan.
I don't know how to take that.
Oh, that is funny. These comments. I mean, comments on YouTube are the greatest.
A lot of stuff, though. You could get a lot of stuff, though, in a van.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, of course, we have a minivan and a full-size van, and then my car. But, you got to have some vans around here. Let's see here. Let's see. Man, y'all are commenting fast. That's all I can tell you because I cannot keep up. Old Man's Garage says, my golf cart is powered by two 48-volt EG4 Life Power server rack batteries. Goes 40 miles an hour and ranges about 40 miles an hour on a golf cart?
Yeah.
Golf cart
is crazy. You must have changed out the motor in that thing or something. Man, I wouldn't want to get on it. Man, I definitely wouldn't let my kids on it. Man, they'd flip that thing over. Fully Electric says, the Lucid Air Grand Touring goes 512 miles on a full charge. However, it's a bit expensive. Yes, I've looked at the Lucids just for fun. I just look at stuff with people at work, and we're always looking at electric cars and stuff. Lucid Airs are very nice looking, go very long range, but are hundreds of thousands of dollars. So definitely will not be getting one of those. Let me see here. Rodney, when you get the EcoWeather battery, do a cold weather charge test. So cold weather, like how cold? Because if it's below freezing, we're not gonna be able to do that. Yeah, and plus, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be cold here next week. It's supposed to be down in the teens. So for here, that is cold, especially if there's any wind chill. Woo! Hey, our stuff is not insulated for that. We have to worry about stuff freezing in the ground. Our water lines and stuff are very shallow compared to what you have, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hey, did any of y'all see those? Oh, sorry, man.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did any of y'all see those or that car at CES this year? Basically looked like a Cybertruck minivan that had a helicopter quadcopter deal in the back of it. Did y'all see this?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, post in the comments if you saw this thing. It's pretty sweet. It looks like this, like I said, it looks like a minivan and a Cybertruck like together, and it like has this full sized like drone in the back that you sit in like a helicopter with a joystick, and you can just pull up and thing kind of falls out the back, and you can fly off and go
Good
for a little
grief.
spin and come back. Yeah, super cool. Yeah, fully electric. Yep.
Hold on a minute. I got it pulled up. We're gonna show everybody. Bam.
Yeah,
Is that it?
Oh,
that's it.
sweet.
That is wild looking right there.
Yeah,
Looks like a
Yeah.
Mars rover or something.
There's probably a video, but I don't want to
Yeah,
play it and they playing some music or something. That is wild.
right. Yeah, and apparently, like they're going to be delivering, I believe, early next year. Like it's happening.
That is crazy.
I keep seeing more and more of those quadcopter concepts.
Yeah. Well, I
Let's
think it's
see
not technically considered a helicopter, and so it doesn't run into all the same regulations and stuff. So it's kind of cool.
And I can't find the comment, but I think somebody was asking what year and all that I got. I got a 2019 Nissan Leaf. Of course, I bought it used. You know, you can get everything a lot cheaper when it's used. So I get about 120 miles of range, depending on if it's super cold. When it's been in the 20s here, it's been like 20 degrees, and I've been having to go to work and come back. I use a lot of that battery, even though I'm not going that far because I'm using the heat and the heated seats and the heated steering wheel and all that stuff. And it will burn that battery down in the cold. Just trying to, and it's just trying to keep me warm. It's not the car using the power; it's me because I'm in there freezing to death. So
you gotta take your propane heaters in there with you.
Yeah,
big buddy.
I'm like, man, it's crazy. Like I thought the heated seat and the heated steering wheel will be good in the winter, but it's just been a little colder than normal for us. So usually it's not below freezing. So if it's 30 some degrees, 40 degrees, I can turn my heated seat on and my steering wheel, and I'm usually fine. But when it's been 20 degrees and the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour, man, it has been freezing for me. Not used to it. All right. Jim says, can you imagine some of the voters in this country flying a 2-ton air car around? Oh, man. I'm not going to get into our voters. That's for sure. But yeah, I can imagine it. What size array do you have, Rodney? I thought we talked about this earlier, but you might have missed it. I think I might have about a 15K array or 16. I can't even remember on my main house. Then I have about 6 or 7 more kilowatts here on the shop here. So I'm not sure. I'd have to go look everything up. I can't remember everything I got. I've had it so long. So I'm getting ready to add some more solar to the house though, for sure. What's your solar array size now, Eric? I know it wasn't huge, but
no.
Have you added anything else? No.
So, all right. So I had one of them just like laying on the ground. Well, it ended up shorting out, which was probably to be expected. Walked past it and had some hissing and popping going on, and one of the panels was fried. So that was not a good experiment. So that one is not currently doing anything. Then I've got some that are just like up against the fence, and I think they're in a really bad spot facing, I think, west, like straight due west. So I get like 3 kilowatt hours a day. That's it. I mean, it's pretty sad. But like I said, I charge for free at night, so that pretty much gives me everything that I need. Eventually I'm going to get a lot more panels and put them up properly, but I've been doing things like, restoring old hot tubs and stuff the last couple of weeks instead of, things that are actually important.
Well,
Adam?
for that cold temperatures coming up next week, right?
Well, yeah, and
all the heaters and stuff, yeah.
Have the hot tub going to, heat at night, and I was thinking about actually taking this call from the hot tub because I love it so much, but
I was
then
I've been watching your videos, so I got some of those.
I just didn't want to get you demonetized or, banned for doing the stream from a hot tub.
Inappropriate content.
So Adam, how many kilowatts do you have? I know you have, quite a few panels.
I think I am around like 11, maybe 12 kilowatts.
And is that with the chicken coop too, or?
Yeah, so that's including everything, but I've got half of the chicken coop is going into my Blue Eddy system on my barn right now, and then everything else gets funneled into the house. But at this point in time with winter and the low sun, the neighbors' trees are just causing havoc on any potential. So unfortunately, I've been having to run more on the grid for a majority of the winter at this point.
So have you
You know, I
been
was telling
charging
you,
at night your batteries, and is your rate lower at night? You've been charging at night, or you have the same rate?
No, my rate is the same, no matter what time of day. During the or during summertime, I have a higher peak rate, but during like, is it 2 to 7 or something like that? It's 1.5 times the cost, but every other time it's just a flat, well, flat rate. Um, till they start adding more taxes and fees and whatever else they want to add into that.
Yeah.
So I try not to charge from the grid if I can completely avoid it.
Eric, were you ready to say something?
Oh, I was just gonna tell Adam. I was telling him on one of his posts the other day that we can help out with those neighbors' trees. I get up there, but you know,
Take them out.
probably not the easiest thing to do. Talking to your neighbors about it.
Another question, Adam. You have a different inverters on the same battery bank. Any issues, side effects? Who charges the battery?
But yeah, so right now I have 3 different systems all on the same combined battery bank, and they're all providing power into the bank when the sun's out, and they all take power from the bank when they need it. The only problem that I have come across is just being able to accurately monitor how much power is coming out of the bank, because you've got multiple power sources pulling from different places. My Victron shunt gives me the overall picture, but that only works well with the Victron system. So my midnight's behind me. The only concept of the battery bank they understand is the one midnight battery they're plugged into. The EG4 that's running only knows about the one battery that it's plugged into. So that's the only downside that I have to deal with right now is, um, like, if I turned them all on right now, the Victron would work perfectly fine because the shunt keeps track of everything. But the midnights would end up switching over to grid long before the batteries are to the point that they should, because the one battery state of charge is lower than everything else.
Yeah, like I have the 12K and the 12,000 XP on basically the same battery bank. And like Adam said, I have my 12K basically on the Power Pro battery, the indoor Power Pro battery with communications. And then the server rack batteries, I have it connected to the 12,000 XP. And everything works fine. It's just you're not going to be able to see the total battery bank on one just because, it's not communicating with all of them. But, you kind of have to jerry rig some stuff when you do testing like we do and you have multiple systems and inverters. So we're definitely going to do things a little different than people should, but I would say try to get them all on the same bank and with the same type inverters and let everything communicate together. That's your best bet for sure. All right,
Well, that brings up a good
go ahead.
comment regarding the batteries, though. Um, I've got a hodgepodge of all different kinds of batteries. And the one thing that I've noticed with communications, if you try to get them to all communicate, they won't all talk to each other. So if you're looking to start your system, try and stick with the same battery type that can communicate to itself and to your inverter if you want that closed loop communication. Um, you probably want to stay away from trying to mix and match your different batteries if you can avoid it.
I just saw somebody with a comment that says, oh, negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit here next week in Wisconsin. Wind chills negative 40. No,
Nope.
thank you.
Yeah,
no. Man, that is crazy. Hey, my son, I think he's he's got a CDL, so he's a truck driver. I think he's going to Minnesota right now. I'm like, oh my goodness, I know they're probably freezing up there. I'm like, he's definitely told us some stories about him, going to take a shower and coming out and his hair he's froze when he gets back to his truck. I'm like, you better put a hat on. Oh man, it's funny.
So next week we need to do the cold weather tests, right?
Yeah. So hopefully, I don't want anybody to lose power, of course, but if my power does go out, that'd be one time I get to say, hey, my solar actually worked and did something. I've only lost power for a few hours here and there, so I always know it's there if I need it. So I like losing power because I can test myself out. I don't want people to lose power when it's cold because other people are gonna freeze. But sometimes you're not gonna be able to help it. If it goes out for a couple hours, at least I can do a test and then they won't freeze to death. They can turn the power and the heat back on. Because it will get cold very quick around here because everybody uses, not everybody, but most people use electric heat in southeast and North Carolina. So let's see what other questions we got. Looks like Rue says, in Europe, we're using electric bikes for commuting and also using EV for city driving, less than 200 miles on a single charge. I'm totally in line with this. For long drives, I'm not convinced. Yeah. I think we'll be there one day, but we just can't force it on people. That's what I think.
Yep.
Anyone using solar to heat water directly? Our Copia channel has some cool thoughts about it.
I keep toying around or just thinking about that idea. Because man, like we use so much hot water in our house. I mean, Rodney probably uses more, but like I've even tried, we've got like a massive couple of shower heads in the shower, and the kids are just like, if I turn one of them off, they're like, didn't need enough water pressure or whatever. And so like we like to really use the hot water, and so I keep thinking about going that route. I've even got I've got a big old coil of copper pipe that I'm like, man, it just needs to be put to use. I might as well paint it black, stick it in a box, and try something. Because Lord knows we have enough of the solar exposure. So yeah, I haven't done it, but I've thought about it for a while, and maybe it'll be one of my next experiments. I don't know. We'll see. And how about you guys?
I have seen some videos on that, but I haven't really thought about trying it myself, but it definitely is interesting. Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I've seen some folks have tried to take one, like for an electric water heater, taking one element out and making it driven based on their solar system as a dump load. I've also seen other people take and put in a second water heater in line where the first water heater could be used as your dump load, and then the second water heater only uses grid electricity if the water temperature is low enough. I just don't have the space for it, and I don't really have the capacity currently to use that as a dump load. I would love to try it out. I think it would be I think it'd be fun. I mean, you see videos like David Paz, he's got his little test dump load, and he's got like 20 of his little water heater elements in a barrel just as a dump load.
Yeah. Definitely interesting. Jetfire says, I'm stoked at getting 15 kilowatt hours per day.
Oh,
hey,
no
you just anything
awesome.
you can get, especially when you first get started. Like I think I brought in about 91 kilowatts today between both my systems, I guess, and on my shed and on my house. But the batteries weren't completely dead either, so you can I could bring in more than that for sure. But they just got to 100% early, and I think today I might have turned part of my house off because I was doing something else and I didn't turn it back on, so it didn't get completely drained like it usually does, I guess. But yeah, when I first got mine, I had 10 panels, and if I brought in, 15 kilowatts a day, I was excited to bring anything. Like you said, I got a solar panel from Harbor Freight and was excited to do a light bulb.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, yeah.
That's
anything.
awesome.
Let's see here. I'm trying to get down to the bottom of the comments.
Mhm. So some of the guys were talking about, how much they're paying for electricity. Um, 10 cents in Dallas, 13 cents, 11 cents, stuff like that. Here in East Texas, I think right now I was looking and it's probably like 12 to 14 cents in my area if you're going to try to get a new plan. I pay 22 cents, but that's because of like the free nights, right? So it's free all night long, but during the day it's 22 cents. And they really expect you to average out and kind of give them, you know, 11 cents to 15 cents a kilowatt hour. But
They definitely don't know what you're doing.
I told him I was going to do it, man. I was just like, look, can I use all of my electricity at night? He said, well, if you can. Okay.
Yeah, 99.9% of people aren't going to do that, so that's probably why they weren't worried.
Yeah.
Rue says solar is addictive. We invest a lot of money in constantly upgrading the system. I think we're never gonna recover the investment. Your thoughts? Well, like Eric said, he already got his investment back. So I mean, some people are definitely. If we got a YouTube channel, I mean, you're definitely gonna spend way more money than a normal person. So we've definitely bought way more stuff than we probably need. I could have bought stuff to make my house fully off grid by now instead of buying all these little mix match parts to test out stuff. So that's my goal for this year. That's one goal I got, is basically get my house completely off grid and have enough batteries to survive for days. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but that is a goal I have. So
can y'all hear my battery or the inverters behind me? Just all of a sudden, it hit 9 o'clock and they're like, charge the batteries. So
Yep.
they're ramping up.
Just a little bit. It's not bad.
Now we heard the initial ramp up, but now you don't hear it anymore.
Yeah.
John says, can't you set your batteries to lead acid so that all the inverters would see the same voltage? You could, but I'd rather have the stuff split up and communicate with one of the batteries and kind of knowing exactly where the charge is, because voltage to me isn't the best thing to charge based off of, but that's just my opinion. Adam?
Yeah, it would work. I mean, you're going to have voltage drop depending on how far your different devices are connected to or are spaced away from the bank. It could be done, but it's just not as good of a representation of where your battery bank really is because of the flat discharge and charge curve of the lithium iron phosphate.
Donnie says, Adam, how much battery capacity do you have? What is the bank made up of?
I want to say I'm probably like 72 to 75 kilowatt hours, maybe. And I have, well, here we go. If somebody wants to do the math so that I don't have to, I've got two 280 amp hour DIY banks, three 100 amp hour server rack batteries, a 230 amp hour Orient Power, and a 314 amp hour Midnight battery. So who did it?
I was trying, and then I got
Is
lost.
Is that about 72, or am I wrong? I don't know. Maybe I did that wrong.
No, I think it is about 72. And it's still not enough.
No, I have 85 on my house and 35, I think, on the building here. It's nowhere close enough for me, not especially during the winter. But I'm gonna get some more and some more panels.
I've got another 15 on the Blue Eddy system running the barn, but the trough heaters and warmers running all winter long just take that like it's nothing.
Yeah. And if you guys didn't see Eric's video the other day, maybe it was the other week, I don't know, about the mini split being one way to get started on solar. And basically, you need to go get appliances that actually prevent you from using so much power. Is probably your best bet. But
Mhm.
I didn't really go that route completely. I do have a mini split here and there, but I'm trying to just let my family do everything they normally do. That was my goal. But that is definitely one option. So y'all go check out his video on that.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that if you're trying to dip your toe into solar and you can't drop 9 grand or whatever it is on a system like this, like what we've got behind us. I know we've all got a lot more than that into these, but it's a great place to start. If you can just get yourself, you'd like, hey, if you're somebody who has window units in your house or you've got an old air conditioner that's just not quite cutting it, um, man, throw in one of these mini splits that has the solar and the AC and DC options on it. These hybrid mini splits. Get out there and throw up a few panels and just completely eliminate your heating or cooling electric bills. And I think that's just a great place to start. Now, if you've already got something like this, it doesn't really make sense to put those panels on your mini split unless you just don't have enough MPPT space or slots on your inverters. So it's there's a couple different ways to do it, but I think it's a great place to start.
So, and that's great because that's what I did for my buddy. I put a mini split on his house and put the 4 or 5 solar panels on the top, and it cut his bill by like half for his house because we basically put the 24K unit on there, and he's basically heating and cooling his whole house with that. It's not a huge house, but his electric bill dropped by half, and that was just with a few solar panels and a mini split. And at my house, I put a mini split on, and it has the DC option as well, but I didn't put any panels on it because it's running on solar most of the time. So, I have my own solar system, like you said. So, right there, that's both of the things you just talked about, and definitely, depending on what you have, definitely a good option to get started, and it's a lot cheaper than buying a whole solar system.
Mhm.
Let's see here. There are so many comments. Hey, I want to thank everybody for being on the broadcast for sure. It looks like we got about 60 people still on the stream. We've been on here for 2 hours. Eric and Adam, if y'all have to go, y'all let me know, or if you want to keep going, because we've definitely been on here for a while. But I'm good to go if y'all are, or if you're ready to go, that's fine as well. So just let me know.
Yeah, no, man, I'm good for a bit.
All right. So I want to thank everybody again that's on the stream. If we haven't said your name or said hello to you, hey, welcome to the stream, of course. We definitely appreciate you because without you guys, of course, this wouldn't be possible. We'd just be sitting here talking to each other, and we wouldn't need to do it on the internet. All right. Let's see here. Mike, I was quoted $100,000+ to run grid to my property. I ended up going fully solar, spent about $35,000 for my setup. Would that be considered paying for itself already? Thoughts?
Yep.
Yeah, because you definitely saved the money
100%.
already. So, I mean, if you win 100 grand in on grid, and then you got to pay for the grid, that doesn't make much sense to me. But I think you went the right direction.
For us here, like we were quoted, although our water utility company here in our county goes right up to my property and literally has like the end of their the water main lands 10 feet into my property. They told me that I was going to have to go through this whole process of converting it into the subdivision because it's family property. We got a couple different homes out here and all this stuff, and it was going to be about a $35,000 project, 25 to 30,000, depending. They're trying to give me a ballpark, just to give me water, and so for us, we ended up having to go with a water well, which ended up being about $28,000. But instantly I see that as an immediate return on investment of, now we have the water that we own and we're not paying for a water bill and didn't have to pay somebody else that pretty much the same amount of money. Now you're talking about $100,000 Yeah, that's a huge chunk of change. Yeah, I mean, you've put money back into your pocket.
Exactly. I just saw a question here. Now I don't know where it went. All right, let me see here. It says, Adam, I have a Chevy Bolt, and that is my primary vehicle. I have 50,000 miles on it. I love it. And in the winter, my range is about 170 miles. Most of my charging is done at home. I don't know if he's talking to another Adam or Adam here. Might have been talking to Adam in the stream, in the chat, I mean. Let's see. Oh, man, let's see. Somebody got a super chat. Was that me or Adam? I don't know. Adam, did you get a super chat?
I don't see it in yours.
Yeah, I got mine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Adam got a
Yeah,
$10 super chat. Bam. Thank you, Unc Joe's
Thank you very much.
Unc Joe's Playhouse. Yeah. Make sure I'm reading that right. Let's see here. Yeah, when it combines all the stuff, I'm like, was that mine or his? I'm like, you don't know until you look down at your own stuff. Let's see here. Old Man's Garage says, the solar community is so great. The streamers are all so helpful, and the community is great with sharing knowledge. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. I want people to become more self-reliant, so that's definitely one reason I do this. Plus, I just needed a hobby, and I started out just doing it. I was doing the solar already. I said, I might as well start recording, making videos of it, because I was making videos of fishing stuff, so I like doing that too. But, hey, solar, I need to try to make a little bit of this money back, because all this money I spent, so it definitely helps out when y'all are using my links and get me a little commission back. Because solar is expensive, as we all know, and we definitely appreciate it.
It only takes you about 5 minutes to make a 15-minute video. Is that right?
Yeah. Bam, Adam. Wow, that's a lot. Really appreciate it. Had to put your own comment up there. Fully Electric says, you guys rock. Does anybody else got any more questions, or did we miss a question? I may have missed it scrolling down to the bottom. If we did, put a Q in front of your question. Go ahead and put it in the chat. And if these guys start getting tired, everybody probably has to work tomorrow. So, but these guys work from home. They probably don't care. I mean, they don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah, I don't miss the drive. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No.
Let's see. Fully Electric says, Rodney, will you put your link in all your videos? So all the links that are in my videos already should work already. So all the ones that's in there, and I just need to go and take the discount code out and just use my link. I guess let me put my link on here. Let me see. I just posted my link right in there. You can use, and if you want to support me, or if you want to support Eric or Adam, I put Eric's up there as well. And then Adam's is for current connected. So just depending on where you want to buy something from, just go support one of us, and I'm happy with that. So, because we're out here trying to help you guys out as well. What's that?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't click on each one of them and think you're gonna support us all evenly. It's the last click is the one who gets the commission. So just so you know how that works, just figured I'd throw that out there. Except for the current connected one right there. So I'd say click on Rodney's link for your signature solar, and click on that current connected one over there. Go help out Adam.
Just click on Eric's. Don't listen to him. Oh man. So Donnie says, Adam, I asked about the battery because I have a DIY but want to slip in some server rack here and there.
Yeah, I don't have any problem mixing the server racks and the DIY, other than you just need something to try and keep track of the overall system output.
Yeah, and Donnie, you found a heck of a deal on those raw cells. I forget where it was though. You want to put a link or mention where you found those? You told me a while back.
Was it 18650 store had a sweet deal on them?
It may have been it.
Maybe a week or two ago.
So Techno Rancher says, can't wait to get solar panels hooked up to them to reduce my $700 power bill.
Dude.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you definitely need some solar, man.
Nice.
I haven't seen 7, but I've seen mid 6s.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like John Gonzalez sent, I think, Adam a super chat.
Yep, it's
$20.
18650
Thanks
store.
for all the help. Hey, well, definitely, Adam. I know he appreciates it, and hey, I
Yeah,
appreciate it as well.
Heck yeah, look at that. Nice.
I don't remember us getting any super chats before, so it's on a roll tonight.
yeah.
Let's see here.
Where was it? I thought I saw a question.
Yeah, the 18650 store is what Donnie says.
Mm-hmm.
So Old Man's Garage, right after you posted the links, Rodney had a question about securing Wi-Fi dongles.
Uh, yeah, let me answer this real quick. Not sure how to use the links when Signature Solar has the quote to remove tax for I guess that's Washington State solar exemptions. The codes did not work for that. So whenever you call Signature Solar, if you ask them, just say, hey, I want to support Rodney Hunt, but I can't purchase it online because I got to call in to get this quote, or Eric from East Texas Homestead, and they may be able to credit us with affiliate sale that way. I don't know for sure, but it doesn't hurt to ask, especially if you're going to buy it anyway. Hey, you might as well help out one of us, to get a small commission off of that. And so, Adam, where was this question that you were talking about?
From Old Man's Garage, right after you posted the links for everybody. Okay. He was asking about securing the Wi-Fi dongles.
All right. Do you guys secure your Wi-Fi dongles? I do not. I mean, on a lot of my stuff in my house, I have no, I can't even think of what it's called now. Okay, I'm having a brain fart. Y'all go ahead and talk. I got to figure out what I'm talking about now. I have private internet access. I have a VPN, basically. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah. And so I don't think you can put it on like the Wi-Fi dongle or something that I know of, but it would be nice if you could.
So I just make sure that all the stuff like that, my inverters and all of my smart home accessories and all of that are all on the guest network. And then I've got my computers and everything else on the main network. And now obviously it still allows, communication for bad actors between all of those peripherals, but it at least keeps them off of, the real sensitive stuff. Of course, then you might say, well, then it allows maybe somebody to hack into your light switch and then take out your electric grid or whatever. So I don't know. It's actually one thing that I did start doing because man, so we get a lot of these Chinese companies sending us, these inverters or batteries or whatever it is to test out. And it's like, like why do I have to connect to through your app and give you access to my home network and all of this? So what I've started doing is I've got an old router that doesn't even have internet access, and I can plug it in if I want, but I just use that as my Wi-Fi, just to connect through and then to connect to the device, test it out, and then get off of it as quick as I can. I hate that stuff.
Yeah, I hate having to log in and make an account to use their app. Oh. I should be able to click on the app and use it as a guest. I can't stand that, having to make an account.
Oh, yeah, and like the Bouge RV one, it's like, use as guest, and you go, yeah, use as guest, and it says sign in. You're like,
yeah, sign in. I'm like, what is this? I think I was complaining about that on the video. Oh man,
it's a cool.
So app, I know that at least for some of the EG4 Wi-Fi dongles, they have an update that they have to push to the dongle itself, but then that allows you to put a password on the wireless connection for that dongle. But I believe you have to reach out to them directly, and then they install that update for that dongle. I know, obviously, you can unplug it, at least for some of these devices. Like Eric, a lot of mine I put on my guest network, and my guest network isolates each connected device from everything. So it can't even see anything else on the network. I do like using Solar Assistant if I can get it. If the system supports it, I can do a direct connection to Solar Assistant, and that doesn't even require an internet connection if you don't want to. So you can still see all your information, statistics about your system. But it would be nice if these different systems just had a toggle. Turn off Wi-Fi, turn off Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
Old Man's Garage says, did not know that. I will check with EG4 for that dongle update, as I need my dongle on Solar for on Solar Assistant access. So yeah, I didn't know that as well. So I might have to do that. I have so many of these things hooked to my internet. Anyone use the Ethernet dongles for the 6000 XP? Yeah, I got them on all three of mine. So
You've got the wired Ethernet one or the wireless one?
oh, the
Because
Ethernet one. Oh, never mind. No, not the Ethernet. All I saw was dongle. I read it and didn't even see it.
I don't think most people want to pay for the wired one. I think that's like the big friction point for those things.
Yep, one of my dongles updated to 2.06, but the other two won't take or even offer the update. That's weird. So on all 3000 XP inverters, is that what you're talking about, Bebop? I must have missed something. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess maybe if you buy them at different times, I don't know if you would think they would all be able to update though. All right, anybody else got any questions? It looks like we got 56 people still on the stream. If you got any questions, just put a Q in front of it and put it in the chat. Let us know.
56 people at 10, almost 10:30 at night.
Yeah. People like YouTube. Oh. Let's see here. Fully Electric says, I put all my IoT devices on a separate old Wi-Fi router and uplink that router to an isolated VLAN on my main Wi-Fi router. Yeah,
Yep,
so
I like that idea.
Definitely some good options, stuff that I don't even think about. So I might have to try some of this. Doug says, my home network is locked down, denying all incoming ports.
Exactly. It's the way they all should be. Deny all unless you want it open.
It says, Joe says, Rodney, I emailed my salesman at Signature Solar asking how to get you affiliate credit. Well, I definitely appreciate it. And then, of course, anybody that uses my affiliate links, you know, you'll be entered into my little contest I do every month, like I talked about. And I try to use a percentage of my commissions that I make to be able to get stuff back to you guys. And so when I had November and December, of course, were pretty good months. So I gave away a Life Power 4 battery or the whatever it was. So, hey, I try to support you guys because you're supporting me, and I definitely appreciate it. And I know Adam and Eric appreciate it as well. So don't forget to support them.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here.
It'd be really boring for us if you guys didn't follow along.
Yeah. Bebop says, I just got Starlink going. Woohoo. That's awesome.
I like it.
Oh, man. Let's see here. Techno Rancher says, how old is your install? Any chance on you're low on coolant? What? Jim? Hold on. I don't know what they were talking about.
He's asking Jim.
Yeah, I missed something in the chat, apparently. We can't keep up with the chat and run a stream, as you probably can see. It's hard to read everything and try to operate all this stuff. So I definitely miss a lot. Oh, man. Roll 2 videos. Hey, what's going on? Mike says, thank you for all your time. This is good stuff. I think everyone here appreciates it. Hey, we definitely appreciate you guys for watching. Bebop says, had to get a range extender to get into the house, but it works great. That
Nice.
that Starlink.
Yeah, I just want to follow up on Jim was talking about. He's got a 12,000 BTU EG4 hybrid mini split, and it doesn't heat so well.
I remember him talking about that before.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
So
Jim, did you ever talk to Signature Solar EG4 about that?
Yeah, because like, man, mine does fantastic. Like it was 20. I mean, now granted, cold in East Texas is, you know, maybe a little bit different. Well, Southeast Georgia. It shouldn't be that big of a difference, I don't think. But
Yeah.
while we were sub freezing, upper 20s, I had the house at 78 degrees, at night. It could heat it as hot as I wanted to get it, and that's our only source of heat, really. So I didn't have any issue.
Yeah, all the ones we got installed, it's got down to like close to 20 degrees, and my buddy's house, it works, and my one that I have on my house works, the EG4 mini split. So I don't know how cold it's getting where you're at, but Jim, I remember him talking about it got down pretty low and his inverter kicked out to 24 degrees. So I know it got at least in the same range that mine worked in. So I figure either there's actually something wrong with it, or I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and like I will say that my window units, I've got some. I got them at Lowe's. What's the brand? Frigidaire, whatever. 2 window units. I think they're both 8 or 12, 12K BTUs. And when it got cold, like those just sit there and blow cold air. I mean, like they don't do anything. So, I mean, I don't know. The mini split really surprised me how well it did. Now it does go into a defrost mode like quite frequently, and that throws an error code. I think it's S5 or wait E5 or ES or something like that, and you can't find it in the manual. It doesn't say anything about it, but it's just defrost for just a minute.
Unc Joe's Playhouse says mine did not heat well below 25 degrees.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure even the rating in the specs might be like 32 degrees or something, isn't it? Like, so I don't know how low they're supposed to be able to go, but I don't know. Mine have worked. I'm not using it to do like my whole house or anything. It's just for a room. So I don't know. I just heard a little feedback. Mike says 78 degrees. How are you not dead? That's crazy hot. Yeah, that would be a little warm for me.
And then it cools out as it goes into the rooms. But I'm getting free energy, man. I get it as hot as I can at night, and then throughout the day it just kind of cools off a bit.
Bebop says I got 2 different brands and both heat like crazy down to 19 so far.
Okay.
Average Joe, yo, hey, what's going on? He was over here in Western North Carolina not long ago helping us out. So if y'all haven't seen those videos, go check them out as well. Of course, Average Joe makes great stuff. Let's see. Donnie says I sleep at 68 degrees.
Yeah, I do like a big cool.
Uncle Joe's Playhouse says some are designed to go lower temps. Then you need geothermal to run them up north. I don't know what's going on. I keep hearing background every once in a while. Like, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I'm hearing it too.
I wonder if y'all can hear that in the chat. Let us know, or if it's just us.
It's weird because I'm not hearing anything.
Must be
maybe
Adam.
It's me.
It's probably on my end. Let me. I'll put my AirPods in.
It might be coming through your speakers or something. Maybe, I don't know. Average Joe said, "Yep, I hear it." So I don't know. It hasn't happened a lot. It seems like it'd be happening all the time, but I don't know what's going on with that.
Hear that.
Betty Power says it's just Rodney on that feedback. I shouldn't have anything I don't have any speakers. I got these AirPods in. Yeah. What's up with that?
I heard it again, and I've got my AirPods in as well, so it wasn't that.
Okay, let me see here. Unless I don't have the live stream on my computer anywhere. It's on this iPad, which, I mean, I can turn it off, but the iPad has no sound coming out. Yeah, the sound's off on it. The sound's off on the
Mike
iPad that has
says
the stream.
it's just him hacking into Rodney's IoT.
Yeah, I don't.
We
Oh,
don't
it's
see
like
it.
everything tech. You're always gonna have some kind of problem, and like I have no idea what it is. But hopefully we can survive.
Thomas was asking about a question regarding Victron auto transformers. I'm trying to see where it was. He says he hadn't seen any videos or good videos on taking a Victron auto transformer and going from a small generator to 120 volts and charging a 6000 XP.
I can't find it.
Well, who is it? It's
Can't talk either.
Look up the Minuteman
shoot,
Prep channel, because I know that he did using a portable power station and charging with a Victron auto transformer. I thought I could post comments with this comment window, but apparently I can't.
Adam, are you sure it's not coming through your speakers?
The only speakers I have are these ones.
I'm just like, are you sure that it's not coming through your speakers? Okay.
Say
Testing.
It
testing.
stopped as soon as I said that.
maybe I am hearing something.
Testing. Testing. Hello. Can you hear me now?
It's gone. All right, good. We fixed it.
Oh, what about now? Can you hear anything, Adam?
It's gone. All right.
Like I'm hearing it. I was hearing an echo when I shouldn't hear an echo. What am I?
On your MacBook or something, or?
Yeah, that was weird.
All right, back to the stream. Look, AW, let's see here. I saw something about lagging video or something. Like, is anybody seeing problems with the video right now? Because I haven't seen it lagging on my side, but maybe it is. I don't know if they're talking about our mouths are not lined up with the audio or what. Average Joe says Adam was lagging for a second. That's probably Adam's internet.
Well, yeah, that's my internet.
Hey, I was worried about mine since I'm the one streaming it all out. I was like, this fiber optic better be working.
You missed the fun earlier.
Yeah. Oh, man. Jim says 5x5 here. Unk's Playhouse says video is great. Full electric, all perfect. Man, that's nice to hear. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours, everybody. 2.5 hours. Oof. So this is our record, at least, for a stream. And like I told them, they can just tell me whenever they're ready to get off. Because I know, some people got to work. I think y'all's time's behind mine, though, right? Both of y'all are at 9:30 right now. So you're not as bad as me, I guess. I don't have to work tomorrow.
10:30.
Oh, you're 10:30?
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking you were Central Time, too. I don't know. I guess that's all only down there at Texas and I don't know what other states. Let's see here. I haven't found a good video for using Victron auto transformers. There's that question. Like, how did I not see that before? Like,
yeah,
it just now got on there. That I don't know. It was like it wasn't on there. So that's what you were talking about earlier. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, look up Minuteman Prep and then search his page for auto transformer.
And Full Electric says your audio sync is good too. Okay, that's great to know.
That's good to know.
Unk's Playhouse says I have 2 1 gigabyte fiber connections, so it ain't mine. Yeah, I have Starlink and I have fiber optic now, so I shouldn't be going out. I'm using fiber, of course, for this upload for the stream. It seems to be working pretty good. Old Man's Garage says, okay, good night all. Enjoyed your live stream and all the comments. Yeah, we probably need to go ahead and get off of here too. I'm not seeing a whole lot of questions. We still got 49 people on the stream. We want to thank everybody that's been on the live stream, and definitely appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody that uses our links. Let me go ahead and post these guys' links one more time. There's Eric's link for Signature Solar. You can get $50 off any order over $500. So if you want to buy anything from Signature Solar, go ahead and use his link, because like we said earlier, the discount codes no longer work. And now I'm going to post Adam's link for Current Connected. You know, they sell a lot of the same equipment as well. And you can go support him, and he'll make a little commission off those affiliate sales as well. Because, of course, he did answer a whole lot of questions tonight, and I know everybody definitely appreciates it. And let's see here. Average Joe says, YouTube didn't notify me for the stream. Yeah, I put out a little video before the stream about the stream, and I put out a post, and YouTube, they don't push the stuff out to everybody for some reason. I don't know what's up with that. Uncle Joe's Playhouse says, Signature Solar, I can't talk now, 2.5 hours. Signature Solar needs free shipping. Signature Solar hadn't had free shipping in a while, but they do have $350 shipping for any order over $3,000, I think. So I'll let Eric and Adam go ahead and finish this off if they got anything for everybody. Eric.
Hey guys. Oh man. Great start. Great way to finish, I suppose. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody out here. It's so cool. I'm seeing 51 people still streaming right now with us. It's just, it blows me away that all you guys want to just hang out with us and just kind of geek out and talk about solar stuff or whatever. You know, I mean, some of these streams are going to be a little bit different. You know, we might get into things that aren't solar. We might just stick to solar 100%. I don't know where it'll go, but it's still fun to hang out with all of y'all and see people, same names and the same faces coming back night after night. So that's really cool. If you don't know anything about me and you just know Rodney, you just know Adam, I live in East Texas. I got 4 boys. I love Jesus, and we do all sorts of cool stuff. And man, my channel's kind of all over the place. It's not just solar. It's really, you know, I want to encourage people to live faithfully and prepare thoroughly for good times or for bad. And that's what I try to do in my personal life, and just want to help and encourage everybody to do the same. So yeah, come check it out. East Texas Homestead and easttexashomestead.com if you want to go straight to the website, which doesn't really have anything other than just the videos. And that's it. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rodney, for hosting. And off to Adam.
And Eric, if you want to, post your channel in the chat, so anybody that may not be subscribed, they all probably are, they can go find your channel easily. And Adam, I'll let you go ahead and get a turn.
Well, like these other guys, you know, I'm really thankful for the fact that you guys are willing to even come along on this little journey with us right now. It's fun. I mean, without you guys coming along, this wouldn't really be anything for any of us. If you're not familiar with my channel, I just go through and trying to take my home off grid one step at a time, just like anybody else. I try to go through and focus on things that might not be hit as much by other folks. So my stuff's a little bit longer. I'll just give you that warning. I don't know how to stop talking. But I'm a details guy and I like to share the details. So I just hope that it helps, you know, one person, because really, if it can help one person and not deal with a friction point or a frustration that I've come across in my little journey, then, you know, hey, that makes it all worth it. It's a blast. We're trying to see where this takes us, because, you know, these different live streams, we don't really know. We've tried to, even, you see behind Rodney right now, we did throw together some kind of a little, you know, name and tagline just to play around with this. You know, we're all trying to go unplugged. We're all trying to be a little more self-sufficient, less reliant on others for our power or even food, various needs around our own homes. And, you know, if we can help share the information that we've learned or even learn from you guys, because there's a lot of things that even you guys share, even in the chat, we don't know. So, it's fun. We enjoy it. And thanks for coming along.
Hey, and I agree with both these guys, Eric and Adam. Hey, I definitely appreciate you guys coming on, spending 2 hours and almost 40 minutes with me tonight on this stream. And we're also, of course, on Adam's channel. Maybe next time you guys can convince Eric to let's go ahead and stream on his channel as well. And we'll definitely appreciate everybody that's here. And if you still have questions, you can go to any of our videos and leave some comments and questions, and we'll try to answer you as soon as we can. I've got behind on some of my comments. I'm trying to catch up now. So if you have comments or questions on my channel, I am trying to catch up. I will be off of work tomorrow, so I should be able to catch up then. And we definitely appreciate you. And thanks for watching.